start streaming now, but it's going to take a second for it to start going live. Live streams are fucking funny on YouTube. It says receiving your content. It should be ready to go now.
Bienvenido a las Fed Guerillas. This is your host, El Gringo Loco. Tonight, for one night only, it's the original 3 Fed Guerillas time traveling from all the way back in 2010, from all the way forward to 2035. And right here tonight, live on YouTube, we've got Jesse Ramey. Say hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
We've got the Snowman, Jordan Snow.
Hi, Jess.
And of course, your host, El Gringo Loco. And that's me. And before we get started on anything, I want to say to Brock Estelle, that's what she said. I saw something that he put in the IGS chat on Skype, and that just had to have an, that's what she said. He said, is it up yet? Is it up?
But
You gotta say that's what she said. Come on. So, yeah, today was my birthday. It's actually now no longer my birthday. Well, I don't know. Maybe technically it is, because I think my mom said I was born at like midnight. So I don't know if that was like the end of August 29th or the beginning of it. But anyway, I just had my birthday, so Jordan was like, hey, you know, let's do this big show birthday thing. But guess what? Guess what? August 27th was the date of our first show, August 27th, 2010. Jesse, you were there. I don't know if you remember the date, but it was August 27th. I remember it well.
dude, I barely can remember what I ate yesterday. You're going to ask me about something that happened fucking 7 years ago?
Well, some people have a better long-term memory than a short-term memory.
No, I smoked too much pot when I was growing up. my memory barely makes it into yesterday.
I still smoke too much pot, so.
But,
Shit,
anyway, I know one of the things
pot,
that Jordan...
crack with Jordan. Pot, crack, cocaine, assholes. There was a lot of stuff he smoked.
Did you say assholes?
Yeah, assholes.
No prison talk tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
We don't have to go there.
Well, I don't have to go there. Let's hope that your like regressed memories stay regressed from the time you were there. But on to other things. Ernie.
On to other things. So, I know one of the things that Jordan wanted to talk about. Jordan and I are both in an E-Fed, an Angle Fed called IGS. And the first show for that came out. Oh, excuse me. The first show for that came out last week or over the weekend.
Okay, so for people that are listening to this who don't know what IGS is, namely, probably just me, but what the fuck is IGS?
So IGS is an Angle Fed. It's run by Antoine McDaniel, who used to be, among other things, he was in the Fans Wrestling Organization, the FWO.
That was Malik Rollin.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, he writes me like every fucking 6 months. Hey man, you want to join this? It's like, no! Get the fuck out of here! It's like, why are you still a Facebook friend? Get the fuck out of here! He wrote me and asked me to join that stuff too. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
He's merciless about recruiting people too, so you may as well just go ahead and join, Jesse.
No.
He'll never, if he's got you in his sights, he's never gonna let up on you. So you may as well just
join.
Dude,
he's had me in his sights since like 2008. Or before that, fuck, I don't know, since the advent of fucking Facebook.
Yeah. He's also one of the co-founders of No Brand Wrestling, which is now run by Dusty Shull.
The fuck? No Brand still going?
Yeah.
Damn, that
They're
thing,
never gonna close,
no,
man.
that thing's gonna
EW
outlive fucking
Zine,
cockroaches.
EW Zine even still has forums up, or they brought their forums back. EW Zine brought their forums back. I mean, there's not like a lot of posts there because nobody posts on community forums anymore, hardly. But like, there were a lot of people who were like,
Bastards.
hey, why don't you bring it back? Why don't you bring it back? So he brought it back, and then like nobody posts. But I don't know. I really miss like the old days of the community forums.
No, I've been out of this thing for a while. I don't give two shits anymore.
Yeah, you need to get back involved, Jesse. You're a good writer,
I
man.
don't have time for it though. I got too much time like spent in the YouTube stuff. So
Make time.
uh,
Make time.
I don't know. I went
One
out.
up
I
us.
went out on top, man. I went out on
One
top,
up
and
us.
that's all there was to it.
Well, yeah.
I went out as
I
a world
guess-
champion.
I guess that's the way, that's the way people want to go, out on the top.
Yeah.
Like Jordan, and before he came back.
I don't know,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
The older I get, the more I want to be on the bottom. But
Oh, jeez.
fucking power bottom, Ernie. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ernie.
It's starting
Thank
to sound like prison again.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Mr. El
Jordan's
Gringo Loco.
Jordan's over there getting flashbacks of prison.
Oh, is he a power bottom too?
I think that means I think he was. He said he was getting flashbacks of prison.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, we got 6 people watching. We've got. Well, I don't know if I'm considered one of them or not. I know you guys are probably watching, but we got Paul Carter, Bestale04. We got Matt Golda, dude. That's a name I fucking remember.
Bestella's Bork. Brock Estelle. Yeah, and you said Golda's in there?
Yeah, Golda. I remember Golda.
Let me get I need to go click that link so I can go get it in the chat room. Am I gonna have to I'm gonna have to tell this not to play at me. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, I can send it again. All you get is copy paste it.
Nah, it's in the one of these chats still, so I already clicked it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say hi to people in the. I gotta sign in first.
Oh,
For
Jesus.
not having me already signed in.
Yeah, Ernie, what the hell, man? So, man, if you guys got stuff you want to talk to us about, or if you guys want to comment, in the chat.
Yeah, or if
Yeah.
you wanna come on the show,
Yep,
just
we can bring you on.
Hit us up on Skype. Say
Just-
something in the chat, whatever. Most of these people here, it looks like that I see talking in the chat, I've got them on Skype. So Jordan, Brock. Well, Jordan's on the show right now.
Yeah.
Brock, Golda.
Golda says who says he remembers me. I remember you. This is Jesse Ramey. I remember you from back in the UW days and the radio show that you did there with Turk.
Yeah, I was actually on that for a little bit.
I think I was on one of them too, but I can't remember. I know that was like right after, because we talked about the whole Legacy of Champions thing for back in the day whenever Turk was running it and Dan had the hurricane bullshit. Yeah, I was gonna say tornado, but two totally different things. Land, water, fucking shit. And that's whenever UW started up right after that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what happened was, and I don't like to hash drama.
Is it still drama? I mean, fuck, it's been like
I don't know.
15 years ago.
Yeah, but like what happened was, Dan came back. He was upset because Kyle had kept Legacy of Champions running, and so Kyle ended up getting exiled from Legacy of Champions.
Yeah, see, I remember that. And then then eventually they ended up bringing UW back as a fucking feeder for Legacy Champions there at the end of it.
Yeah.
That last run that Legacy Champions did.
Yeah, I think Dan is trying to get Legacy of Champions going again, but I don't know. We'll see how that works. He's also got Club Up, which is Brock Estelle's old fed. Well,
Yeah.
we were talking about that earlier in the IGS chats. A couple other people started it. I can't remember who he said. If Brock would put that in the YouTube chat for us real quick, so I'll have that information.
I remember that because that was like the that was like a different version of oh fuck, what was Asylum TA.
Yeah. So, but Brock was the last one to run Club, and then like I guess Dan wanted to bring that back, so he's I don't know. To me, it's like, you know, Legacy of Champions ended up closing down the last time due to inactivity, and then now he wants to run 2, but you know, I don't know. Who am I to criticize? So.
Well, shit, I mean, it's like I told you. It was like I planned on coming into Legacy of Champions after I finished up with Jolt, for a while after Jolt actually had finished up. And, I mean, it's you know, it wouldn't have been inactive if you know, they would have allowed people to actually come in and do shit. There were some people that just wouldn't let it happen. Like you said, I'll try to stay away from the drama and not put that out there. But there were quite a few people that were supposed to come in to Legacy of Champions. They're at the very tail end of it, but people were so bottlenecked into their little cliques that it was just like, no, fuck you, we don't want you in here. So
yeah,
fuck them.
And that's never a good way. Honestly, like that's a good way to kill an EFED.
And it did.
Because then what's eventually going to happen in every EFED, what eventually happens is you end up with handler turnover. And you need to be able to deal with handler turnover. It's just like anything else in life. People aren't in any place permanently. It's not like the 1950s when, you know, you'd get out of high school, you'd get a job at General Motors, you'd stay there until you were like 60 and then retire, or 45, or whenever they used to retire from back in the 1950s. Whenever, I don't know, the retirement age used to be. The retirement age keeps getting older and older. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had like a steady job that I worked at until retirement, by the time I retired, I'd probably be like 80.
Yeah. All right.
Because it
so
keeps getting.
If you guys want to talk about stuff, you better start posting some stuff in the chat, or hopping on, or else Ernie's gonna do one of his old timey 1 hour rants on whatever the fuck Ernie talks about. Most of us see this is worse for me now. Back in the day, I used to be able to do this on the telephone, and I could go like lay on the couch and pass out and, you know, take a nap while Ernie did like an hour and a half rant on something. But now I'm kind of stuck here in my fucking gaming chair with the microphone shoved up my fucking face hole. So I can't do it now.
Jesse, I still remember this one time from like the original EFED Guerillas run, where you and Jordan just all of a sudden just started laughing at each other, just started laughing like in the middle of the show, and I was like, you know, what's going on? And then you told me that, I think it was Jordan messaged you, or you messaged Jordan about me being on one of my rants again. It was, I don't know, it was funny.
What happens in you were getting ready to start one just a second ago.
Yeah, it was. But anyway, like, there's always handler turnover. to get back into this, it's a rant, but it's EFED related, so come on. There's always handler turnover. You know, your handler base to start isn't going to be permanent. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be people who are going to need at some point to take time off, or, you know, they're going to, you know, leave the game for a long time, or they're going to go to another Fed, or whatever's going to happen. You know, this is what happens. It's inevitable.
Or they retire so like me permanently.
Yeah. Well, I said, or they leave the game, you know. But, you know, you need to be prepared to deal with that. And having a Fed that's like way too cliquish that you don't want to let anybody else into is not a good way to deal with that.
Right.
Not a good way to deal with that.
I mean, unfortunately, that stuff happens a lot of times, though.
Yeah, it does.
I've seen it happen a lot. I mean, that's pretty much what I've seen almost through the entirety of the time that I was in e-wrestling, you know? If you weren't in the clique, you weren't part of it. I think like the only one that I ever like was a part of that wasn't like clicky like that was Jolt, and I ended up being the champion in it for once.
Well, if you would have written when I was running Infinite Wrestling,
I mean, that never took off the ground though.
we had like 3 shows, and the 4th one was underway, and then everybody just kind of quit writing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I mean, like, you were supposed to be on like the first show. You were on there before the first show, and then just I don't know, never did anything. What was your character supposed to be like?
I don't know.
White Tiger or something like that? Snow Tiger?
Oh, that was El Tigre Blanco. It was a white tiger. That was the character that I had in Legacy of Champions that one run. That he was supposed to be the flyweight champion, and it never happened. So.
And then didn't we have like an El Tigre Negra too? Black Tiger?
I think so. I don't know who handled that one, but it sounds familiar.
I think it was I don't even remember the guy's real name, but I remember his Twitter handle was, or not Twitter, what do you call it? That thing that we used to talk on before Skype, AIM.
Yeah, AIM.
His AIM handle, man, that's like going back in the day. His AIM handle was "You Blow Geese." I think that's the dude that it was. That was like my favorite AIM handle ever. "You Blow Geese." It was hilarious.
Wasn't that the guy that did the posers for you?
Nah, that was James Halsey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he actually wished me posted a happy birthday on my Facebook page today. That was good. I like him, man. He was always cool.
Dude, a lot of these people add me on Facebook, and it's like, who the fuck are you? I don't know any of these people because I didn't know like a lot of their real names. You know?
Yeah. Well, James was a fantastic poser artist. Honestly, I always thought he was like one of the best.
Or then you get people like Turk's actual handler who gets mad at you whenever he posts that he's going to a wrestling event, and you comment in the thing about fucking Turk showing up at the show, and he gets mad because nobody in his real life is supposed to know he wrestles.
Yeah.
He got super pissed off over that at a couple of people. I was one of them.
Was it like the time that he wrote Ninja K giving a fan a high five?
No, it was like on his personal Facebook page. He went to like some show.
I mean, the fallout.
He went to an actual WWE show, and it was like, oh, Turk's gonna show up at this show, and he's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's all right, whatever.
There
bastard.
used to be a Turk candy bar. Do you remember that?
No.
When we discovered that there was a Turk candy bar.
I don't remember any Turk candy bar.
Oh. Anyway, IGS's first show came out, so we'll get on to that now. And
you got a link for it? I can post it in the chat.
Yeah, it's wrestling.work. HTTP.
Post it in the
HTTP.
Post it in the Skype.
I'm having a cigarette. Jordan?
Jordan's dead.
Is he still there?
I don't know.
Jordan?
HTTP. www.
/
Yeah, I got that shit. I know.
Wrestling.work.
Wrestling.work.
Jordan, are you still there?
There. Yeah. Thank you, Brock. Brock put it in there, but there's an actual
Jordan,
link
are you mad
to it.
about Jesse's prison jokes that he made earlier? No. Is that why you're not? Okay.
I think you put him to sleep with one of your fucking rants.
Could be. I thought maybe he was mad at you about the jokes that you were making earlier, and that's why he wasn't talking.
Fuck no, he ain't mad at me. If he is, he'll get over it. If anybody gets mad at me for being here, just remember, this is your all's fucking doing that I'm here. It was both of your suggestions. Hey, let's contact Jesse. And you know what I'm going to fucking say. It's not like you guys, it's not like I fucking changed in 7 years, you know? I'm the same person.
Actually, the best thing about you is like I never know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Beat your kids if you love them.
You do. If you don't, they'll turn out to be little bastards. Like 97% of the population and little kids.
You don't have feelings. You're too young to know what feelings are.
Matt said nobody put people to sleep like Dusty the ratings killer.
Yeah. I remember that.
Hey, Dusty's got, I don't know what he fucking streams on, but he streams on some platforms.
Does he?
Yeah, he doesn't talk, though.
What does he do? Just like stream himself playing games or something?
Yeah, he just streams the games.
Yeah.
But hey, he does it, you know. I forgot how southern Jesse was. Sorry.
That's kind of dangerous to do these days because
What?
of the swatting.
Oh, nobody's gonna fucking find me. I stream on YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch. All three at once, so.
But you know what the swatting is, right? When people
When they call the cops on you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time the cops have been called to my house.
that's right too. You live in like a real small town, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like good luck fucking finding me.
Yeah, the cops there probably already know who you. They know who you are and stuff. So if somebody were to call and be like, "This guy's a terrorist" or whatever, they'd be like,
Dude, they wouldn't even know what a fucking
"No,
terrorist
he's
was
not."
in my town.
They don't even know what a terrorist is.
He's a what? No, we don't got them down here. He's a part of the KKK. Yeah, that's everybody else down here, man. He's okay.
Oh, geez.
Terrorist. Is he one of them Osama bin Laden's? It's just tell him I was an Obama supporter. It'd probably get worse. I'd probably be worse off than that, or tell him I hate Donald Trump. They'd be here in 5 seconds.
Okay. Well, Brock still wants to join us. It sounds like so. I'm gonna go ahead and add him to the call.
Get him on. Yeah.
Gonna go ahead and add Bork.
Can't be any worse than you with the old timey 1980s, 1970s, back in my day stories, and Jordan not fucking saying a damn word.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with a good nostalgic story, okay? I mean,
no, but
Is that Brock?
yeah.
yeah, that's Brock.
That's not at all what I expected you to sound like, man.
What did you expect?
I expected you to have this like really deep voice and
The
like, I don't know,
gravelly
man.
voice and the
Yeah,
10 years of smoking.
exactly, man. That's what I thought. I thought you were gonna sound like way different, but
That's
Yeah.
that's what you get for assuming, Ernie.
yeah.
So anyway, what are we talking about? Like, are we actually going to talk about IGS, or are we just going to beat around the bush because Jesse won't read it?
Oh shit! He knows me really well.
Yep. Jesse doesn't read anything.
Never have, never will.
We covered this on. Remember that EFEC Guerrillas show that we covered this on? Actually, this was like a lot of EFEC Guerrillas shows. We covered that on this one though. We were talking about. I think it was like this FGA battle royal, and we had this other guy on with us that was in FGA. And you were talking about like how you don't read anything. I could never get Justin to read anything either. Justin Heron.
I can't get this
Justin
wrestle.work thing to work.
It's wrestling.work. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's not what was put in the chat.
Well, I'm retarded, okay?
Yeah, that
Fuck damn.
That
They call
doesn't-
me Bork for a reason.
says this domain may be for sale. Wrestling.org.
Work.
WORK. Do work.
Wrestling.work. Okay. There it is. It's a big fucking one.
Yeah, click the one.
No, let's actually put that in there.
Yeah, see? You click the one, and there's all this stuff that comes up, and it's...
Well, I just gotta actually put the actual,
uh,
real life link in the chat.
okay.
Brock Metzer, Buddy Showtime, Dean McDaniel, Derek Ocean, Iceman, because that's really fucking original.
Wait, does that say Dan McDaniel on there?
Dean McDaniel.
Oh, Dean McDaniel?
J-Con! See, that's a name I
None
know.
of these people are on the show, though, just so you know.
Oh, this is just,
Yeah.
just,
No,
just a big...
LLB.
LLB, Roland's around, which is pretty sweet.
Is Roland's really back around?
Yeah,
Roland's
he
Mr.
is.
Robin.
Nice.
Malik Rowland, Max Hopper, they were on the show.
Who's
Brock
set to
Lesnar was
take
on the
over
show,
this
Buddy
thing
Showtime.
whenever Anton fucking fucks off like he always does?
I don't know, but they said that they're gonna. They said
Oh.
that they're gonna make it where if they both drop out, that somebody else will be. They'll give it to somebody else to be able to post the shows.
Yeah, because I give Antoine like 2 more weeks.
I'm guessing maybe like Jordan or Brock are probably, I think, the
Brock
ones
could
that'll
do
take
it.
over.
Jordan
Whoa.
Jordan will be gone in like a month too.
Well, you're giving me credit? I'm like the ultimate flake here. Whoa.
Yeah, but you guys have been like the most productive, I think, out of all of us.
Craig's been pretty good too.
Yeah, Craig Maloof.
Yeah, Craig's been really productive. Having him around's pretty cool, actually. There's like, there's a lot of guys like I wanted to work with that are here that I never got a chance to, so it's really, really cool. Like if Jesse would come, because I've talked ideas with Jesse before, that'd be cool. But
Good
Jesse's
luck.
all, I'm so busy, even though they only do one show a fucking month.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fun.
it's funny because like in the introduction thread on the forums, I noticed like everybody, just about everyone, when they were listing their previous feds, had Legacy of Champions, but we were like all there at different times. Nobody was there at the same. Nobody was there at the same time. Like,
I guarantee I was, because I was there for almost every fucking iteration of Legacy of Champions.
I
yeah,
don't think I ever got to the point where the Fed actually opened up with me in it. Like I think I got one match down, like with graphic violence, and then Dan's like, "Hey, we posted that match you wrote 4 months ago. Do you want to come, write the rest of your story?" And I'm like, I'm drunk now. I don't know where I am.
wait, you handled graphic violence?
No, I didn't
No.
handle graphic violence. I wrote a
'Cause
match
that's-
with graphic violence.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking
Sure.
that was
that
the
like,
guy
was-
that handled
that was Huff.
that was Huff. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
worked.
Huff.
He works with fucking
What was
Travis.
his other character? The one who like got elbow bursitis from jacking off or something like that?
I tried to not read
Lance.
what Huff did.
Lance something.
What?
That
That was his online handle before it was Lance. That's like what
Was
he
it?
went. Yeah, and then he goes by Lance for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden I'm Steve. Like,
Yeah,
all right, thanks, dude. That's not
Steve
awkward or
Steve
anything.
Huffer.
Like Crow.
Yeah, I don't even know what Paul's actual real name is, but he went by Paul for 12 years, so he's Paul.
Yeah, and then he was like Mike all of a sudden or something like that.
Yeah,
I just call him Paul.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But I just remember like seeing in the thread like how everyone listed that they were from Legacy of Champions, and it's like Jay Jackson, whoever that one was, I can't remember right now, but that might have been Paul Carter. But Jay Jackson, and I was like, who's Jay Jackson? Like, I was in Legacy of Champions, I don't remember this guy. And this person and that one, and it's like not like there were some of us would be like have been in there at the same time, and like in different like small groups or whatever. It's just kind of weird. It's like a
Well, the roster was so big, like all the time. Like it was when it was running, it was like 40 people. So
Yeah.
then you're like, yeah, Max Hopper's doing stuff on the show. I don't even know. Like, makes no sense. Jordan's writing stuff. I don't know. Jesse's there. He's probably doing something like higher up the card than I am. So I really don't know about that. All I know is I'm working in the underground division, and that's it. And it was like. It was so segmented a lot, like the divisions were, and it just, I don't know. I didn't get to work with the people I wanted to work with because you never had the opportunity to like mix around enough. But
yeah. I remember I had an underground title match once against Suicide. Do you remember Suicide?
Yes.
who wrote that guy? I don't even know that guy's name.
Andrew.
Yep, Andrew. He was a really good writer too.
He was fantastic.
He never
He
did
was-
get to do the reveal of who Suicide was, did he? I think he did, but I don't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I thought so, but maybe not. But I knew who he was, but
He just because after Suicide he just went by S.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who was he? I never.
He was Ulysses Medina, I believe.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh.
Suicide was
Oh,
Ulysses.
I don't even know who
But
that is.
I remember like having an underground title match with him, and we were co-writing it, and I remember like having us fight back to the concession stands, and I think like I'm pretty sure that I had like Suicide try to deep fry Max Hopper's face. And I
What?
remember like there was a part too where like he Suicide had grabbed like whatever it was, like a frying pan or something big to hit him with, you know? And Max Hopper reached for something and all he could get was a pack of Mentos. That was it.
Oh, God damn it, Ernie. It's every fucking time.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It was pretty great. It was pretty great. But we've got a lot of great people here and
It looks pretty
IGS.
cool. The roster
I
looks
almost-
awesome from what I'm
I
seeing.
almost called it Legacy of Champions.
And would have like suicided himself like off a cliff if you'd done that. Like,
Oh, he would have.
You never
he
would have
would've
heard the
hunted
end of
me down
it.
and killed me. He would have hunted me down and killed me for sure. But yeah, we've got a lot of great people in IGS. Wrestling.work. There's a lot of cool little features. A lot of angle feds from this particular circle, which is a very old angle fedding community, dating back to the 1970s. But
have you actually got Sean Hart here?
he's supposed to come in, but right now he's kind of going through some. I think it's some health concerns. And,
He's
you know,
been going
Sean
through
Hart, it's
he's
been
been
one
going
of
through
my-
health concerns for like 7
Yeah.
years now.
I think more than 7 now. But he's been one of my closest best friends through in e-fighting
Thanks, Ernie.
for many years. Well, I said one of. I didn't say, and I was about to say, along with you and Jordan.
All I heard was Ernie sucking Sean Hart's dick.
is
But he does mine too, so.
was his aim handle Phenom 415 or was
Yep.
Yep, that's him. That's
That
him.
was him.
that... Okay, yeah. I remember people by like aim handles, which is really weird. Like I forget what Jesse's was, but
Ernie doesn't. Fuck off, Ernie.
I remember definitely I talked to Jesse a lot, so like just randomly.
Jesse's was Axo Glowworm.
That was it. Fucking
Yeah.
glowworm. God damn
Yep,
it.
AXO Glowworm. That was Jesse's. And
That was from college, man. It was Alpha Xi Omega, and that was my nickname.
Jesse, do you want to tell the story?
What about how I got the nickname? It was like,
No, about how
oh
about
god, I hated you forever, man. I fucking hated Ernie for the longest time. He would sit and he would write me on AIM, and he'd be like, "Glow, glow, little glowworm." And I'm just like, "Fuck off, motherfucker." It's like I thought he fucking had. I felt bad for him. I thought he had Down syndrome or something. I was like,
No, I still think it was Down syndrome, so
I thought he was mentally challenged. And I'm like, I can't say anything mean to this guy because he's fucking retarded.
I don't know. I had like
oh man, I really should have just like continued to let you think that all through this whole time, man. I would have been golden.
I really
Would've
did
been-
though. I swear to God, before I actually talked to you in person, like not in person, but over the phone and stuff. Like when you would write me on AIM, I thought you were mentally retarded.
If I would have known that before, I would have like the first time we talked on the phone, I would have been like Corky from Life Goes On, man.
Yeah.
well,
But-
the way you chat, Ernie, like you sound a lot less articulate and intelligent. So it's like talking to you, you're like, oh, Ernie can breathe, like not just through his mouth.
Oh Jesus.
Well, a lot of the time, I don't know, like these days on Skype, if I'm on my computer, I have to use Control and V to do a space because my space bar broke. So what I have to do is Alt 32, then hover over it and copy it, and then use Control and V, or I'm using my phone for it, and I don't really.
Ernie, I will buy you a fucking keyboard. They're $7.
Well, no, it's a laptop, and I don't have anywhere else to set a new keyboard. You know what I'm saying? I've got keyboards in the garage for desktops.
Okay,
Like,
so
you can't just
I'm looking at some of these guys on the roster right now. Like you've got this Golden Mitch Miller and Golden Rowan Miller. Wasn't there a Golden Glenn Miller or something back in the day?
And it's the same handler, Logan.
Okay.
And
So those are like his
joined us.
twin kids or something.
Yeah, are these kids or grandkids?
Grandkids, because Golden Glenn Miller
Grandkids.
was like 50
Okay.
when they did the Immortal storyline, so that was like 15 years ago. So it makes sense. Like he's 75.
Logan
got,
also handled Draconian in Legacy of Champions.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and upon hearing about Draconian, I told him that he absolutely has to bring him to IGS.
For Max Hopper, yeah, that would make perfect sense for those guys. Because I remember Draconian, he came into Jolt whenever I was handling there, and then I think he made the switch over to Legacy of Champions, but I don't think they ever did anything with him. Caden Paulton, that's
Roland.
That's Roland again.
Is that Roland?
Yep,
Who?
that's Ro.
I thought.
You don't remember? The nicest guy in wrestling, Caden Paulton. I remember him from previous run in Legacy of Champions. He and Devin were there. Devin was writing as Jeff Garvin, and Roland had Caden Paulton, and that was during the LOC versus ACW stuff.
See, I always thought Caden Paulton, because he was used as like an NPC in Legacy of Champions and Jolt. I thought he was originally Tyx.
Nah,
They got handled Tyx.
Dan just randomly decides people's characters are now NPCs, and maybe sometimes gets permission for them, or sometimes doesn't. It's
Most of the time doesn't.
Most of the time doesn't. Jinx.
Yeah, he took pretty much all of Jolt's old school roster and used them. Like there was one Australian guy like I feuded with when I first came into Jolt, and I ended up like sticking his head in a toilet and giving him a swirly. And no, I can't remember what his name was. No, it was like an actual Australian character, not like Voss's character.
Wasn't Voss's character Australian though too?
I don't know. This guy was like an
handler
old
was
school
Australian.
Jolt. This was like an old school Jolt character, but I ended up giving the guy's character a swirly and a toilet full of feces.
Oh, like Brandon Blade or like Eric
Yeah,
Cave or
one of those guys. Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't Brandon Blade though. He was like the big time apparently or something.
Well, Blade was the big guy. I think he was the first champion.
Yeah, I can't remember the other guy.
Joel was real weird because they had a real small roster at the start, and then most of the characters like never did anything else. Like Graphic Violence went on to do other stuff. Vic Creed went on to do other stuff, but a lot of them, like Reno Davis, Eric Rave, Brandon Blade, they never went to another Fed, so Dan just kind of decided they were his.
Yeah.
I guess.
Wasn't who was in the Idol 4 with you? With Token.
My god.
That's back in the JEW days.
Oh my god. That was a guy
Old school.
Vinny something, Rico Suave.
Yeah, I remember Rico.
Sin was the other guy's name.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that was like Fed Wars, dude. That was like pre-Angle, like we're gonna come in and take over the world.
Yeah, because the first Angle Fed that popped up in Fed Wars in that era was OSW.
No, there was the one. What the fuck? The guy that ran Poser Factory originally ran it, like Jax.
I remember Jax.
Because JEW closed, which that was the worst acronym for a Fed name ever. Can we just go over that? Like the Fed name, like I just called it Jew. Like I don't know what anybody else called it, but it was just Jew.
That turned into what was that? What was that one roleplay Fed that was like really Prime? It turned into Prime.
Yeah, Sebastian, the same guy who ran it, ended up running Prime because he realized how stupid his name was. I think.
Well, there was like 3 Jews at one point in time. There was like Jew 1, Jew 2, Jew 3. I was in JEW, I remember.
But the Fed Wars stuff was like real crazy because like PCW came in and that was like a real big deal, and it like went downhill because like half the stable abandoned me. That was awful.
I remember it though. It was a big deal when you guys came into JEW. There was like this big hype around it, and it's like, who the fuck are these guys? And I'm like confined to the U.S. division and something else. And I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck these guys are. What's the deal?
I don't know. I won the high octane title in like a week, and I was like the worst one. So I was like, and that was like the second best belt. And I'm like, huh. Well, I guess you other three have to go for that other one because this is weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was.
I remember I used to have to feud against Thug Rock in JEW, and he ended up going on in Prime and doing like some pretty decent stuff, I guess.
Well, when Ron like destroyed Fed Wars, put everybody into PCW, and then brought in even more people, like a lot of those guys had to improve because like PCW, like they actually had decent people. Like it wasn't like you had like half the roster could actually write. So a lot of those guys learned how to write there, or they became a lot better there.
Honestly, I think Ron pretty much almost destroyed all of like e-wrestling because he was with his douchebaggery bullshit. So I didn't like the Phantom Booker. We'll say that he didn't like me. He didn't like me either.
So he hated me until I was in asylum, and then all of a sudden I'm like his best friend, which that was. But it was like, oh, you're in the big time. We got to talk to you more, and I'm like, all right, this is weird. Like you hate me.
I said no to one of his angle ideas, and then he fucking hated me after that. So
I don't know. OSW was a cool Fed for a little bit. Ivan Stanislav was like the coolest guy ever there.
He was. I mean, he was pretty awesome. I remember that was part of the original fucking roster.
That fucking laugh, man. That ha 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 laugh like was just so over the top and ridiculous. And every time you read it, you just knew it was Stanislav, and it was great.
It was a pretty good Fed, man, for what it was back in the day.
Well, I mean, like you look back in the day, there were 10,000 angle fans. Now there's like 4.
Yeah.
You know, and half of us are like 30 years old and can't output anything. But there's like 26,000 Feds on Facebook and Twitter, and you're like, what are you even doing? How are you role playing on Twitter? You got 250 characters.
Ernie can do it.
Well, they don't, you know, the role plays aren't on Twitter. The role plays are, you know, on their forums and stuff like that. And then they use Twitter to further angles, or well, it used to be where you'd use Twitter to further angles. Nowadays, it's like you basically just post like pictures of women's butts and boobs, and that's what people do. But
And cats.
and cats, yeah.
Post cats on Twitter.
Ernie likes to post pictures of dongs.
Do you so Ernie actually stayed active, right? Like you were like you toughed it out and went to the dark side and did all these things.
Yeah, which the dark. I walked through hell. I've been through hell and back.
That's terrible. Right?
I've seen Stovacor.
Well, it's like every time Dan would come back and be like, "Hey, we're opening up Legacy of Champions," everybody's like, "Yay!" And then like it either happens a year later and you still have to handle other places because you want to play. Like now I look at it as a game. Like before I was like, "Oh, it's this big thing," and I'm writing and I'm being creative. Now to me, like this is taking up my gaming time. So I just look at it as a game.
I actually like divide the way I look at it. UFEDing is I like divide it into 2 different categories. The first is role playing is role play feds to me I consider a game. Angle feds to me I don't consider a game, I consider a hobby.
Okay.
Because there's really like no gamesmanship, I don't think, in an angle fed. It's, you know, it's just this cooperative thing about people getting together to, you know, tell good stories and, you know, write wrestling shows and travel through time and stuff like that. So notice how I had to slide that in there. But
you've never said that to a woman before, have you?
No, because I never had to point out that I slid it in.
Because you've never had a woman that would ever let you slide it in her?
No, because they know when I do. They can feel it.
Oh, whatever, mama's boy.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like to me, like an angle fed is more like it's a hobby. It's more of a cooperative effort. So
But still, who does
Um,
the better? It's still like a role play fit because whoever's doing the better work gets the push.
mm,
I mean,
maybe, but not
sometimes,
necessarily.
yeah.
Unless
And
you're Dan and Justin. Then
Okay,
if you're
it's
Dan,
not.
then Justin automatically gets pushed to the top.
Well, right. But I mean, like, if it's
I wasn't gonna shoot fire here. Justin Raby's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Fuck it. Flamethrower, go.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there are other situations too, where, it's kind of just like about like the story, or, maybe it's like somebody's turn or whatever. But like in Jolt, I think Josh had wanted to eventually get everybody in Jolt to have the title.
Thanks,
I don't
Ernie.
think it. What?
Let's just fucking shit on the last thing you did in e-wrestling.
I'm not shitting on the last thing he did in e-wrestling, but I'm just saying that, like, he wanted eventually to have everybody, didn't he?
Not as far as I know. Nah, not as far as I know.
thought that's what, like, Jordan had told me, or you, or somebody told me that. But anyway, I mean, it's with an angle fed, it's not always about, who's putting out the best work or whatever. It's not always about, who's, best friends with the Fed head or whatever like that either. It's just sometimes it's just, this push is going to happen for whatever reason, and there's a good story behind it, or maybe there's not that good of a story, but it's just going to happen anyway.
I can tell you right now, I know what the story is behind Malik Rollin being the fucking IGS world champion on here.
Well, I think Ant actually said, like, he didn't know who he was gonna get, so he wasn't really planning for it. And then he like had planned it and pulled out all the artwork and everything, and then he ended up with a lot of guys he didn't think he was gonna get. So now he said to me, he's like, I wish I wouldn't have done that as much, because it wouldn't have made it. It didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like LLB's there, and LLB's like story wise, probably one of the most like glorified past fantasy wrestlers like in our circle or hobby.
Yeah, by far on that roster.
Yeah, and like Noble's also, like, I guess more recently with like Defiance and stuff like that, it's been very active, and you can make an argument there. Like there were a lot of guys that you can make an argument for, and I think Ant just said, like, I kind of, someone needs to do it, I'll do it, and then we'll see where it goes. Which I'm okay with. Like he's actively trying to like handle as little as possible, which makes a lot of sense, because I mean, like, you don't want to have like, oh, I'm handling all the champions or something weird, or
Yeah, people do not like that.
No. And
So who's
It's
your
weird because,
character?
like,
who's my character?
Yeah.
I'm handling Chris Richards. Handling a rookie character because I think Token Weed should be dead by now.
See, that's my problem. Like I couldn't bring my guy in. Like he was born. He's as old as my fucking brother. He's in his 40s.
Right, and I mean, it's
People
actually
still wrestle in their 40s.
They're gonna look like Hulk Hogan and fucking Ric
AJ
Flair at
Styles is
that
40,
point.
man. AJ Styles is 40. He looks good.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
I mean, like, so the thing for me, like, honestly, writing a new character is so much better. Like, it's a lot more refreshing for me to be able to sit down and like come up with fresh ideas and fresh ways to spin something. And like, I got real back into wrestling, so like a Token Weed match is not going to be a wrestling match. Like it was always going to be this bloody gore fest.
He was a brawler.
Right, yeah, it was going to be a disaster. Whereas, like, with Richards, I can write these really good wrestling matches that I want to write, and, like, think of, like, oh, this is a cool transition, I want to use this, or how can we transition to a finish from this point, how long do I want this match to be, because of where it's at on the card, or what I'm doing. Like, it's a lot more fun for me to do that, and then, like, what story does it tell for him?
Gives you more opportunity to do a little bit of ring psychology writing, Right,
and a lot of character development, like, you know, the base idea, like everybody's like, what's your character? What's your character gonna be like? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just gonna happen. And everybody's like, that's a terrible idea. And then so far, it's actually been really awesome because I've been able just to base a lot of my character's history and like backstory off other things, and like come up with it as more people are involved.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Like, hey, this is my tie-in here. Hey, this is my tie-in here. Like, my only tie-in, like, starting off was the promotion's based out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, and the stories were running the same arena over and over again. So my character's from Philadelphia, you know, like half hour, 45 minutes down the road from Allentown, like the much larger city.
Right.
And it's
I was just saying, yeah, right. I mean, it makes sense.
yeah, and it's like kind of like this big baby face story. So it's been a lot of fun for me to build that story, and it actually got me back into it. Like I've been way more active than I thought I was gonna be. I thought I was gonna sit down, write some crazy match, submit it, and just be done.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm in like the Skype chat all day. I'm, you know, bouncing ideas off people.
That Skype chat is crazy. But ideas do not happen in that Skype chat.
But you say that, you say ideas don't happen there, but like all my ideas have happened there. But Jesse, were you around for like the Forever chats back in the day? I don't know if Jordan was around for this. He might have been.
Probably, like I don't know off the top of my head, but most likely, yeah.
There were these chats in like 02, 03, 04 that would like go for days. Like it was just the chat room was up for literal ever. And that's what I feel like with this, so it's like a lot of fun for me. It's like, oh, I'm 15 again. Haha, you know, we're cracking jokes, making fun, and then like I end up coming up with an idea just based off something somebody said, so I message them, and then we start talking about it, and then it, you know, like Ernie says, ideas don't happen there, but I feel like I'm like, you know,
when you're
going nuts.
spitballing, just shooting this shit, that's usually when the best ideas come.
Yeah. Well, some ideas do happen in there, but I mean, there's like a lot of just like other random shit going in there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
Like Brock giving us like updates on his bowel movements and.
Listen, man, if I drink a lot, like, and Jordan's like, hey, get on to write a segment, and I'm taking a shit, like, I'm taking a beer shit, I'm sorry. Like, what else am I supposed to say? Like, I'm busy. I'll be about 20 minutes. Just giving you a heads up.
Oh look, Antoine's in the chat. There's that guy who writes me every 6 months asking me to join a Fed.
Hey, Ant.
He's asked me every 6 months since about I don't know when I first joined Facebook, 2004, probably like ever since 2006. I think every 6 months or so, Antoine usually writes me and says, "Hey man, I got a new promotion. You want to join it?" Like, nope.
Real quick, since you mentioned the chat a couple minutes ago. In the chat, Paul Carter said that actually Malik Rowland being the champion was his idea.
Yeah, I was just being a shithead when I said that. That was just a joke.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying like it's not as. A lot of the times that's a big concern for people when they look at a Fed. They're like, "Oh, why is the Fed head the champion?"
Because that's usually what happens with the first champion that's being crowned most times in most angle Feds. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's a way to have somebody who's going to be there for the first 4 shows that's not going to flake.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes sense. Like,
right. I've ran. I mean, it was just a joke when I said I've ran angle Feds before. It's more safe to put it on one of your own characters because who has more to lose than anybody else in it? You. So you put yourself in that position until you know exactly who's responsible enough to take the reins, you know? Makes sense.
I don't know, whenever I ran Feds before, I would just like hold off on who was going to be the champ until I had it figured out.
I mean,
well, you have that option, and then you got the one that's going with now, and it's makes sense, you know? Either one makes sense.
I mean, and the other thing, like, is just whenever you're coming up with stories and stuff, like, maybe it just works that, hey, this is the best idea and the best way to go. Like, sometimes it's not about who needs it or who wants it. It's like, hey, this is the way the story's flowing. Let's go here.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, that's just the way shit ends up. Like,
Right.
you know, Ant could have given it to whoever he wanted. Um, like, I mean, I don't know. Jesse, I think you'd think place was really cool if you like checking out the backstage and stuff.
I'm
It's
already.
actually
You guys have
cool.
already. I'm already starting to get like this taste in the back of my mouth to want to do it. The more and more I'm sitting here fucking talking about it, so I hate you guys right now.
Well, so the backstage script is actually like I've been so like giving you an
It's
example. Like,
custom. It's been custom made by Paul.
yeah, it's like so from Asylum, FWO, you know, Locke, like all these feds that were like the business at the time or whatever that were supposed to have like the latest and greatest stuff.
Yeah.
This is the most in-depth thing I've seen. It's really really cool. Like with
You can
the go ahead.
go
Ernie,
ahead.
if you want.
Okay.
I was going to talk about the events. Like I think the event sorting is actually really cool. It's like drag and drop. So like ordering a show is just like, oop, slide this here, slide this here. Like, oh, my stuff's in order, done. And like you can go back and edit stuff. It's super super easy, and it's like, oh wow, this is just the most. You'd in 2005 you'd have killed a small village of children. Like you'd have went to an orphanage with a machine gun to get this,
Yeah.
and Paul did it, and it's like, wow, this is just amazing.
I just want to say too, at first the edit event order was like you'd have to like type in a number, type in numbers, and then it was like all of a sudden like overnight he was like, oh, it's drag and drop now. I was like, wow.
It's
Like,
evolving.
yeah, it's crazy. Like over
like,
like
hey, Paul.
that's how fast he had it done. It was just
Yeah.
like, you know, the guy's good.
And it's
I mean,
really cool to have like this tool where you can just go in and just be like, oh, done, or edit. Oh, I just
wanna
spelled this.
see. Let me take a screenshot here. Take a screenshot, and I'm gonna send you. This is what the buttons look like, Jesse. The backstage.
What's what I'm saying? I mean, like the longer we've sat here and talked about this crap, you know, the more like I want to maybe throw my hat back in, you know, the ring and try it for just a
You
little bit.
should.
I don't know.
You absolutely should. There was a thread. I think Jordan started the thread on the backstage forum about, you know, like who would you, like a dream roster, who's not here would you most like to have, and Jordan went first because he started the thread and he listed you. I think you were like the first or second name that he listed.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it wouldn't. My name probably wouldn't have popped up on there if it hadn't been for like you or Jordan putting it on there. You know what I mean? See, even Antoine says I won't be accepted, so it's all good.
And, dude, the applicants we've had so far have been hysterical, Jesse. Like, they're so, like, it's mind numbing. Like,
What about
this
Danny Gordy? Do you remember? Were you around for the Danny Gordy stuff?
No, but the Eric Herrera stuff was hysterical. Like, he's like, I'm gonna recruit all my friends, and we're gonna start a stable, and we're gonna run the Fed, and then we're just like, you've been in Skype chat for 6 seconds, like. What the fuck is even happening? And it was the most weird thing. It was like, man, this is not how this works.
That
Like,
was Phantom Booker. I'm telling you, that's who it was.
No, Eric.
He was coming.
Eric
He was
Herrera's
coming
not-
over. He was coming
I'm
to take over the internet again.
I'm actually Facebook friends, I think, with Eric Herrera. Do you remember Ashley that used to? He ended up being one of my co-hosts for a while in EFA Guerillas, Jesse, during its dying days.
Probably,
The
but
English guy.
yeah, it's
But you have
vaguely
English
familiar.
co-hosts? How did that fail? Like, isn't Doctor Who huge? Like,
Keegan
What
Keegan
about
was the
Dr. Who?
best. Keegan was the best.
Yeah.
oh my god, that dude.
That was the best
That dude-
British guy ever.
That dude was in TA, and he never wrote anything. But the guys from the fighting zone, like the Fed they all came from,
Yep.
this guy Ash wrote everything for them, and he was amazing.
Oh no, this is a different Ashley.
No. I'm saying like this guy Ash. I don't know who you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Ash you're talking about. I know the Ash you're talking about.
Are you talking to me or Brock?
I'm talking to Brock. The Ash he's talking
okay.
about.
Yeah.
Because
But anyway, like,
that guy ended up doing like some super fucked up shit when he made it over there into TA, didn't he?
Who, Ash?
Yeah.
Ash was great. Like, we wrote some real fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was the whole point of TA was can you write some real fucked up shit?
What was one of his characters? Because I remember Ash coming over into the Freak. Yeah, I remember Ash being in another promotion after TA with me, but I can't remember which one it was. I don't think it was TSC. I think it was after TSC.
Ash was kind of flaky though. Like he'd show.
Oh
up,
yeah, he was notorious for it.
He'd write just this amazing shit and then just fucking vanish, and you're just like, what the fuck was that? Like, I don't know. His first run in TA was something else. Like he was there 4 months, and it was just like a total awesome bender, and then he was gone, and it was like, oh wow, that was weird.
Fucking Ant. Ring Revolution was my 4th favorite Fed I was in until Jesse flaked on us. Ring Revolution. It was a good promotion idea, man, but just like I just wasn't the time for it.
The coolest promotion I'd ever seen was, do you remember Matt McLean? Anybody?
I don't.
I don't think so.
He ran this promotion called that was like a tournament format, like, but it reset every season.
Mm-hmm.
So it would like break down into this big pay-per-view. People who were knocked out early could come back, and like you had to work with the guys that were left each time. And it was actually really cool.
Did Ken Zyber do the site design?
What?
Did Ken Zyber do the site design?
Ken Zyber did the second site design that never actually made it to the site a day because anything Ken Zyber did for some reason failed. He's like Rich Vreeland. Like everything those guys made was gorgeous and amazing, and then never got to see the light of day because the Fed fell apart or something.
See, that reminds me of another Fed. I can't remember the name of it. It was the guy that was in Chikara that handled Rena Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Jamar?
Yeah, Jamar.
He was in it. I can't remember the name of the place. They had like seasons, but he handled a character in there called the Backyard the Backstreet Brawler or Backyard Brawler or something. I can't remember, but he was like really big in it. I think Voss handled in it too for a little bit, but it was just like there were seasons, and you could stay for one season, and that was it.
Was it either NFW or
not NFW? Not NFW.
Was it Just Wrestling?
Just Wrestling. That was it. Yep.
I did some stuff in Just Wrestling too. I had Max Hopper versus Turk. We did once there.
Yeah, because you could do one-offs in it. That's what I liked about it. You could come and just do like a season, and then you left. If you wanted to stick around, you stuck around for the next season, or you didn't. Because that's the way NFW started out originally, wasn't it? And then they transitioned to like an actual Fed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you consider being able to pay your bills and have extra spending money to be a successful independent wrestling career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamar Wilson then is definitely success on that front. He wrestles all over the United States as Sugar Dunkerton.
Yeah, that's what I mean. His promos are fucking on spot, man. I loved watching the stuff he did in Chikara. Because it was him and Dasher Hatfield were that tag the throwbacks.
I didn't watch a lot of Chikara, so I'm just.
Oh, it was fucking amazing what they did. I don't think he's in Chikara anymore though, is he?
No, I don't think he does a lot of stuff all over the place. Really,
I thought he still did Chikara.
Sometimes. I don't know.
I follow him on Twitter. I know he's always got something going on.
Yeah, that's how I keep up with what he's doing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan's actually awake, guys. I just wanted to put that out there.
I threw out something relevant that he can comment on.
Well, he's starting to come down now.
That too.
Now he's coming down. He's like, But yeah, I mean, like lots of good people though on the IGS roster. Getting back around to IGS and the first show, I still haven't finished reading the first show,
Ernie,
and I know that that's gonna yeah. But
come on, man.
Yeah,
It's
all
been
right.
out for a week.
yeah, but I I am gonna finish reading it, but I still
How are you
haven't-
gonna make it through the second show? It's like gonna be twice as long.
I don't know.
I skimmed it. That's as good as you guys are gonna get.
We get a month between shows, so
That's as good as you'll ever get from me. I looked at names and stuff and things, and I see bold letters.
I see bold letters.
that's better than what I've expected from Jesse.
It's
That's
too
why when I write stuff,
fucking long.
That's why when I write stuff, I put some things in bold and increase the font size. Like when you and me and Jordan were writing that segment together, and you like went and like turned down the font size for something that I wrote, and I turned it back up because that's why I do that. Because there's some people, man, that like they just look through and they look for stuff that's like bolded in big letters and colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then if there's a lot of that stuff going on, then they'll be like, "That's the match of the night."
Their ADD's like triggered and they're stuck there. Is that what? Like flashy lights and shiny things.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that just like they just look for that stuff. That's all they do. They skim. They look for that stuff. It helps stuff to stand out. And then if there's a lot of that stuff, then they're just like, "That's the match of the night right there."
Oh, I used to love doing those like little things in Jolt when I was in it, like the match of the night, segment of the night, heel of the night, face of the night stuff. I was blowing smoke up every one of their asses. I didn't read a goddamn thing.
Jesse's just going through looking for the colors.
I was, man. I was. That's all I was doing. Like, this seems right. Let's just put this shit down.
If Jesse would have done that for the last, like, from my last run here in NBW, from like when I came back last September till now, like he probably would have put me as match of the night every night because I'm like the only one who puts colors in the matches.
Dude, that makes it so much easier.
Everyone else, they'll do like bold and stuff like that, but they don't put the colors in.
Well, I mean,
I'm the
what
only
did
one
what did
putting
you have
colors
as
in.
competition? Like Judas Bleak? You'd have won every time.
Oh, Judas Bleak was awesome, man. He I mean, not at the very beginning, but he got really good.
Dude, we sent him to MBW because we didn't want him in Jolt.
We shipped him off. We created that motherfucker up and sent him out.
We sent him to Dusty. We're like, yeah, he's okay. He needs some work. Let's send him to MBW. They need people.
When was this?
When he first like tried to come in, like that's where we sent him to, and then he ended up in Legacy of Champions, I think, too.
Had he already been in NBW before or no?
No, he hadn't been anywhere. He was like new to the
That was
community.
Oh, because I was thinking that like Jolt wasn't open yet when he first started handling.
No, it was. We were like the first place that he came to, and I think it might have been
Oh.
my suggestion to send him to Dusty.
I don't know. He listened to every bit of advice that everybody gave him, and he turned out to be a really good writer in the end.
Well, that's the way it,
And
that's
I
the way it
worked,
happens. Though we just didn't like.
yeah,
I think I was the
I
only
worked-
person in Jolt that actually wanted to take the time to work with people. You know, nobody else
Yeah.
wanted to that I know of. New people, at
I-
least.
I worked a story with him a few years ago, and then we had a little bit of stuff leading up to last year's Legacy because we were both being inducted into the MBW Hall of Fame, and so
Sorry.
Well, to be fair, it's like the only promotion Hall of Fame that actually fucking matters because the damn place has been open for 26 years.
yeah.
It's like God created fucking dinosaurs and fucking MBW at the same fucking time. The
So-
first world title match was T-Rex versus Brontosaurus.
So technically, Dusty's God.
I think so. Is how this works.
No,
He didn't create it.
Antoine and Jay co-created MBW.
That is right, isn't it? I remember that now.
But I mean, MBW. I can't believe that place is still open. Like,
It's never gonna close.
If you would have told me, like, this is a list of 10 feds from when that fed opened that would still be open, MBW wouldn't have been on it.
They're actually doing, like, an almost weekly schedule now.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
What's their website? I don't even know.
It's thenbw.com.
Holy shit. They
Max
kinda
Hopper's-
are. They did a show on the 17th.
Max Hopper's the reigning Keystone champion.
Well, that doesn't say much for that title.
No, it doesn't say much for the promotion.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. I waited 20 years for a fucking mid-card belt, damn it.
You'd like to
I
fuck us,
begged, I
but
stole.
we cost
Did
too
you
much
travel through time to
money.
get it, though? That's the real question. Like,
What was that?
did you travel through time in the match to get it?
Yes.
Okay.
He gave fucking Dusty a handy. That's
There
how he
was
got
a-
it.
No, Dusty didn't even know that I was getting the belt. I don't
What
think.
kind of fathead is he? Yeah, the fathead didn't even know I was getting the belt. That sounds like Dan in the last little run of Legacy of Champions.
Keegan was the Keystone champion with Ali Amore,
Okay.
and he was originally gonna drop it to Chris, but then Chris Hopper.
Mm-mm.
But then Chris was trying to run his own Fed and whatever else, and so he ended up not doing it. So they were trying to set up this tournament for Chris to win in the end and win #1 contendership, and then he's gonna beat Ali Amore for the belt. But I signed up for the tournament with the understanding that I would go out in the semifinals. And then Chris dropped out. Nobody else signed up for the tournament. So it was me and a bunch of NPCs and a couple of people that I had recruited in to come in just for the tournament. Actually, I think we ended up with only like one of them staying for it. So that was Matt Mayhew, who was, if you remember, did you?
I remember
did you do
Matt
any of the judging
Mayhew.
Yeah. And that thing that we don't talk about? Yeah, so you remember Matt Mayhew. So he came in.
What thing don't we talk about?
Battle Mania!
Okay.
Yeah,
We don't
battle,
talk about that. But,
battle clusterfuckamania.
Yeah, we were pretty much fucked as soon as some of the high-octane wrestling people said that they wanted to sign up for it.
Yeah.
But
Why does Spike Saunders look like a fat fucking bastard in his poser?
I don't know.
He looks like a big old fat bastard.
Who is Alan Envy, and why does he look like Kenny Omega? Like, he's got like the Kenny Omega green and yellow trunks, but he has the Bullet Club.
Al Envy is somebody who's been in roleplay feds forever. He used to be in this one roleplay fed called New Edge Wrestling, I think it was. But it's not the one that Sean Edmonds used to run, because there were like 50, or no, New Era Wrestling, or was it New Era or New Edge or whatever. There were like 50 NEW acronyms, and there were like 50 of them that were like New Era and 50 that were New Edge. And I know my math is coming out wrong here, but whatever. So, because 50 and 50 is 100, not 50. But so, but he was in one of those for a long time. He's somebody that I know, and he signed up there for a while, but I think he's kind of like dropped off.
I was just looking at his poser, and I'm like, that's Kenny Omega's green and yellow DDT trunks,
Yeah.
and then the Kenny Omega Bullet Club jacket. Like, I'm confused.
But so the tournament was like me, Matt Mayhew, and a bunch of NPCs, and so I wrote most of the tournament, and then I ended up winning the tournament in the end.
Because you booked yourself to win, Phantom Booker. This is fucking Ron, just so you know. You're consorting with the enemy, Jesse Jamie.
Jesus.
You discovered my true identity. But
You handled Dr. Herbert Dorkeman, you son of a bitch.
But
Oh.
anyway, like the plan got changed because Chris never showed up, and it ended up being like me and a bunch of NPCs, and then I got Matt Mayhew to come in for the tournament, and then I ended up going over Keegan's character. That was his idea. He wanted to drop the belt to me, and I don't know if Dusty knew or not. Keegan had told me not to say anything to Dusty because he wanted it to be a surprise. So,
Surprise! Your fucking Keystone Champion's a dickhead and he sucks. Was that the
Wonder
surprise?
That would be rude.
No,
Yeah,
that's Ernie in a nutshell. Come on.
I am not a dickhead.
The guy that does the art
sometimes.
for who's doing the art for them though?
Probably Josh.
It's Dusty.
Dusty's doing that?
Yeah. Dusty, yeah.
Some of it looks really good, and then
I
some
love
of it
I love a lot of the Max Hopper stuff. Let me show you guys.
Oh, I can see it. He's got that fucking tinfoil like bath hat on. And a
The
fucking
roster page is really cool, but none of the things I click on do anything. I don't understand.
Yeah, he's still got to finish the website.
So is Josh actually handling there, and so is Seth?
Yeah.
Because Seth is what
Seth
Warren
is
Spade
handling,
and the Unstoppables.
Nah, Warren Spade is Marcus. Seth is...
Okay, Marcus. Okay, never mind. Same. Seth, Marcus, same fucking guy.
Yeah, Seth has Seth has one of the Unstoppables, Vic Gravender, and he's got that Ohiyama guy, and he's got he's got a bunch of people in there, man.
Who did Seth originally handle? Like,
Silver, Sonny Silver.
Sonny Silver,
okay,
yeah.
I'm sure that was Seth.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know if that's who he originally handled.
that's
But that's who like I
famous.
remember him for.
Sonny's who
Yeah,
he's known for.
famous.
Yeah, in the Angle circuit, that's who he's known for. Because that guy was
Roleplay circuit too, I think, because he used to be in like.
he used to be in
FW Central
Prime.
Feds, that. Yeah, and some F Wrestling Feds as well.
Yeah,
There's another one that Dusty did. There's Max Hopper with his UFO. You gotta see like the one though with like him and the giant octopus. And the giant
That's
octopus
hysterical.
isn't it?
Like, why
If you
is
look-
there a giant octopus in this?
Because it's a Max Hopper segment.
That's fair.
So, yeah,
The
I
UFOs
decided I
is
wanted
hysterical.
a giant octopus, so I got a giant octopus. If you look really closely too at the giant octopus, look really closely at his eyes. He's wearing a monocle.
Oh, nice. So, did Dusty just go on like Renderosity and just buy like the most random shit ever for Poser, or
apparently just for Ernie.
Well,
he's like somebody made this Poser octopus? Sweet.
I don't think that he actually bought it. I think he like found free sources on like Dropbox or something like that.
There's no way you find a Dropbox Poser octopus. Like, I'm sorry, I used to be the guy with the
He
stuff
sent
on
me-
Dropbox. There's no way.
Brock, I'm gonna tell you, because this is what happened. There was this night that we were talking about, because the original segment was gonna be that it was a killer whale, and it was gonna be this whole reference to another handler's character from another Fed, online championship wrestling, in this card that he was on, match that he was in, where this guy tried to feed him to a killer whale, and it's a long story, but. And the whale like licked the guy's face, and then he like woke up and did his comeback and whatever.
So it was Free Willy licked the kid's face.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so that was the original idea. But then somehow or another, Keegan and I were talking and came up with like maybe having a giant octopus. And so I was like,
So
hey,
Keegan was drunk and decided. Okay, continue.
Keegan kind of just like lets me do whatever I want. And MBW, they just let me do whatever I want. And it was pretty much like almost like the same case in like Legacy of Champions. I could do everything I want except win a belt. That was it. That was the one thing. The one thing I was
Not do
never
everything
gonna
you want in
be able to
IGS? Like, what have we told you no?
Yeah, I can do everything I want in IGS too.
Okay.
And actually, uh,
Are you sure you want me to join then? Because if you ask me to do anything, you know I'm going to tell you no.
I did a segment with Ernie the other day. I just want to let you to know that. Like, it was my first Max Hopper segment, and I actually wrote my character as I reacted in real life to
Listen. I co-wrote like a 50 fucking page hodgepodge of bullshit with Ernie Battle Royal once. So I mean, ain't nobody wrote as much as with Ernie as I have on that.
Jesse, do you remember Mike Renner?
Do I remember who?
Mike Renner.
Fuck like, yeah, I remember Mike Renner. Hell yeah, I remember Mike.
Yeah. Could you imagine Ernie and Renner sitting down to write like one of Renner's like Jobber Mania Battle Royal from Hell or whatever the fuck it was, where he killed Ken War 26 times?
Yeah, I could see that.
It would have been amazing. Like, Ernie totally missed the boat on by like 3 years on this.
Yeah, see, I got to work with Renner in TSC.
Okay.
Didn't he also run Fate?
No.
Renner tried to run a promotion, but I can't remember what it was. Like,
wasn't it Fate? Who ran Fate?
No, was it Fate? I can't
who ran?
He did the sprites and stuff for like the posers and stuff. I can't remember.
What was the one on? It was him, Bort, and Comey, I think. And they wrote like it was all jobbers, and it was like there was like the janitor weight title was like their main title. It was literally hysterical, Ernie. It was like,
wasn't that the one that they did with all the sprites?
Yes, yeah, everything was a sprite.
Yeah, I can't remember because that was after fucking oh god, that was after LLB's promotion.
After Action.
Yeah, after Action. After like whenever he came back and tried to take Action over, then they formed TSC. Then he did something with that little sprite offshoot thing. Cause I want to say Jordan was in that shit too for some reason. Cause they had outside parties that were allowed to come and play in it too, you know.
But it was like you had to be like a comedy writer for
yeah.
Fat.
Yeah.
And it was like the shit that would go on there was literally hysterical. It was like, it was so long, the shows were huge, and it was just total fucking nonsense.
Oh. Well, see, I wouldn't have been able to be it then because I'm not a comedy writer.
Oh, right. You're dead serious.
I am. Come on, what's there not to be serious about?
Like honestly, like I could see Max Hopper walk into a room and just like travel Mega Job through time. And it would be the funniest damn thing I've ever read.
We should do that.
But I can't.
Can you get a hold
right
of
Mega Job. Nobody knows where Renner is.
Damn, he doesn't. Renner hasn't done anything in e-wrestling in forever. Not that I can remember.
Trying to find the poser that Dusty did of Max Hopper on the bridge of his ship.
I don't remember Renner doing anything after TSC shut down.
He did some FWO work, I think, for a while.
When FWO came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of home. Like, I remember getting him in Ford, like, after IML2 closed. That was, like, a big...
FWO was always my dream. That was, like, the one place I always wanted to be. And I got accepted fucking into it whenever they shut down the first time. And it's just like... I got access to the backstage area, and it's just like, we're shutting down. Like, motherfucker.
Was it the first time we shut down, or the
second
time?
The first time.
Because the first time was 2001.
That's the first time. It was the first time it shut down.
And then we came back in 2002, and we ran until 2004 or something, and then we shut down again. Until
you know what the one Fed that I always wanted to be in was?
What?
IGS.
IGS. Yeah, that's the Fed I always wanted.
I knew it was going to be a fucking joke.
No, it's not a joke. It's one show a month.
No, I mean, I knew Ernie was getting at a fucking joke. I knew he wasn't going to be serious about it. That's why I was just like, what?
That pulls us back to our topic, though. And
the one Fed that I always wanted to be in was CSWA, but I'm gonna tell you what though, I am like really, really, really happy to be in IGS.
We were
Because
in
there's, like, a lot of-
CSWA, weren't we?
We were, yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, we were a tag team, motherfucker.
Yeah,
The
the Ring
only
Nightmares.
Yeah.
The only Fed I ever wanted to be in that I never got to be in was actually TSC.
The Squared Circle.
Yeah, I
yeah.
applied, and I got voted out. I got voted down.
Ooh, what the heck?
Yeah, because they were like the first group to do like the vote on application system, and I ended up getting voted down.
How did you get voted down and I got voted in?
I got voted.
How the fuck does that happen?
So I had this wild story. It was after Asylum closed, and Token Weed was going to learn how to wrestle. It was the whole like because he was originally a wrestling character, and he went to Asylum, and like all this shit went south and went crazy, and so he was going to try to go back to his roots. And I had like kind of this redemption story drawn up for him.
Yeah.
And Renner told me he's like, I think it's a good idea, but the rest of the roster just wants to see you write that character the way you write that character.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this sucks. Like, it was the first time I'd ever been declined from a Fed, and it was like since Survivor 2, it was the first time I'd ever been declined from anything, and it was like the biggest kick in the nuts. It was like, oh my god. Because it was like I was a huge All Japan fan in the 90s, so like TSC was like right up my alley. Like the early 2000s was like I was all about Noah, like I wanted to write that style.
Yeah.
And I got shit on.
Dude, I was like speechless when I got into TSC. I was happy being a fucking jobber to everybody. I think when I left TSC, my record was like 2-15 or something. Like I didn't win anything. The only person I think I ever went over was like the Flying Frenchie, and one of like this
Was that
trios
Scott
team.
Perry?
No.
No, he was Ernie French, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ernie French. That's it.
I can't even remember who the Flying
was-
Frenchie was, but we
Kevin something.
yeah we
Was it
went
Kevin
back
or
and
was
forth a
it-
couple of times. Like I was supposed
it
to
Iran?
trade off with all kinds of people. I was supposed to trade off. Like I let them beat me and stuff early on, and then they were supposed to trade back off with me, and it never fucking happened. And it's like, whatever. I don't fucking care.
You're like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm right with some of the guys. Those were the big names, you know. Those were really the big names in fucking angle fedding. To me, they were at least.
Well, and that's what sucked for me was like I had recruited those guys, like a lot of those guys into Asylum.
Yeah.
Where I'd even like when Roland started Action, I'd like told him like, hey, these guys are really good. You should talk to these guys. And to get voted down by those guys was like just absolutely savage. Like it was like, wow, fuck me. I guess I'm a piece of shit.
That must have been around the same time that I'd applied, because I didn't make it in the first arc. I got in the second arc of TSC, so I mean I can't remember ever downvoting you. But it's not like I don't think my vote would have fucking mattered anyway with those guys. You know what I mean? I was the jobber, so fuck me.
I don't know. That was cool. Like that was just the one I always wanted to write in.
It was a good promotion, dude.
The problem was with the matches, though. Like you're talking about, you don't read cards now. How the fuck did you read a TSC card?
I didn't.
Okay, I was just making sure.
I wrote my shit and I pretended like I read. So
Devin stuff?
that's what I've been doing for like the past fucking whatever, you know, when I started doing this shit, like back in '98. That's all I've ever done. Like I think maybe I read stuff like role plays and things whenever I first started out, but once Angle Feds came in and like, you know, 15-page, 30-page matches, like fuck this shit, I ain't reading this. I'll write it, but I ain't fucking reading it.
I don't know. I loved reading other Feds. Like I always, like I read everything TSC did for a while. Like I loved the Garvin character, so I read everything like involving Garvin because that character was just amazing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what
Garvin
else
was
is
the
another great
shit.
Fed?
What?
IGS.
IGS? That's what I was thinking you were gonna say that.
I mean,
So what are your thoughts on? And if Jordan is still alive, I'd like to get his thoughts too on the first IGS show. I don't know if he's passed out or what, but
Earth to Jordan.
Just writing a match.
Holy fucking shit, he's doing stuff?
He is. I told you, man. He's been doing stuff in IGS.
Yeah,
He's
like
been writing a lot.
Jordan's on fire right now.
He is. I'm proud of the little guy.
Well, he's got what? He's got Brock Bantler. He's got Lucis. Who else you got in there?
Lucis is in a tag. Well, I'll let Jordan answer because he hasn't said anything.
Yeah, tell me what you got going on, Jordan, in IGS.
Lucis is in a tag team with Yoshitaka Mayday, who was his partner in Global Pro Wrestling when he did his time in Japan, which was his backstory of
Now,
how he
is
came.
that a character that you handle, or is that somebody else's creation?
It's one of the characters I created just for the stuff I wrote while I was locked up, and because he was a Japanese character that I had already written a backstory for, I just put that he was from that promotion where Lucis's backstory had been from, to give them a tie-in, create a tag team there, so he had something to do. There wasn't very many.
That's 3 characters you got. That it?
And there's a very lower card kind of jobber character. His name is Tillicum, which means killer of innocence is what the word means, and he's hardcore extremist type of character that's a lower card thing.
Yeah, I don't even see that one on there, I don't think.
Killer Whale?
That is where I pulled the name from.
Okay, I was just making sure you named it after the Killer Whale.
I wondered if anyone knew.
I knew. I actually named a WoW character after that at one point because it was hysterical. But so what do you think about IGS 1, Jordan? You didn't write any review or anything, right?
I did.
Okay.
Right.
Read it.
Feedback on it. I thought that though LLB seemed to come through as, like you guys said, the most just larger than life character on the show, and as well as just looking at the names on the list, he comes through that way. I thought Mac Popper actually stole the show with just his antics.
I told you, man, I don't steal.
They were unbelievable, honestly. When you read through it, you just like, what in the hell am I reading? And that was a great thing to get as a break between reading wrestling. The flow of the show was set up perfectly, I thought, with the way the matches played out. Different finishes, different lengths of matches. Some were just showcase matches for specific guys. Others were actually like a real main event with LLB versus Sean Hart, just like it should have been. I thought it came across really well. The storyline for how Antoine Malik Rowland has the belt, as well as who the tag champs are, they came up with a story to at least give them the belt in character on the show so that there's a reason for it. And if you were able to read through it, and I know you don't read anything, Jesse, you would know. You might know why that is. The company was bought, and it was a previous federation, and those were the
PWR.
Those were the final champions there, so they were just given brand new IGS belts to replace theirs. The tag team champions gave away their belts freely and took the new ones. They were so glad to have shiny new gold belts. Malik Rowland decided he was going to keep both, so now he has 2 titles.
So what was the previous promotion?
PWR.
Which was?
It's just a fictional backstory, I believe.
Okay, just to fix. So it wasn't one of Ant's old promotions that he tried to start?
I don't know, because PWR does kind of sound familiar.
It does to me too, but...
But, I mean, it's like, just about like any series of 3 letters put together has been used as an acronym in e-fetting, so...
I mean, Ant's in the chat too, so I mean,
times,
if Ant wants to answer that, he's here. There's 6 people watching, so... I know he's one of them, and he's fucking lurking. What about who's this guy that did all the coding and stuff? Paul, yeah. Who does he handle?
I think isn't he Jay Jackson?
Kellen Wolf.
Oh yeah, he's Kellen Wolf too, isn't he?
Okay.
Kellen Wolf and
Well, if he's not Jay Jackson, who was Jay Jackson? Oh, maybe that was Craig.
Was that? No, that's not Craig. I think Jay Jackson is
Don. No, Don is Buddy. Don I thought was Buddy Showtime.
But Don's Buddy Showtime. But I think Buddy Showtime's like entire academy is.
Yeah, but I don't. Jay Jackson wasn't the Buddy Showtime Academy, was he?
Who's Jay Jackson?
Because he used to be in Legacy of Champions during its like first run.
Are you talking about David Noble?
Okay, so Paul's saying that he handles Jameson Lynch, Jay Jackson, Sean Warner, and Kellen.
Okay. Okay.
See, I told you, Jay Jackson.
Would I know Paul from anywhere?
His old AIM handle was like God of Metal 69.
I don't
And there
think
might
so.
have been some X's in front and behind it.
I don't think so. It's not really familiar to me, but then again, you know, it's like I remember weird things like fucking the Idol 4, but I can't tell you what I had to eat yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But so Paul handles a bunch of characters. Ant's handling a bunch of characters. Just till like the roster fills out, I think some of them, but other guys
not Brock. I said Brock because it's Brock Metzer, but Jordan. Yeah.
That's
Jordan
Jordan's.
handles. Yeah, Jordan handles a lot of characters.
Well, it's like what we settled on. Jordan's got 3. He's got the tag team and Metzer.
I thought it was weird.
4 because of Tillicum.
Oh yeah, the undercard jobber guy he was talking about too. I forgot about that.
I've actually got like some suggestions for Jordan for more characters for him to handle if he wants to listen to those later.
Don't burn him out. He's actually doing work, motherfucker.
That's why I want to give him suggestions for stuff because he's actually doing stuff.
See,
ride that wave of momentum while he can.
No, that's the problem. That's the same problem I had for the longest time too, and I'm pretty sure me and Jordan talked about this shit back a while ago. Like I used to burn myself out because I would have a character in Legacy of Champions, I'd have a character in TSC, I'd have a character in fucking PCW, I'd have a character I'd have like 5 or 6 different characters in promotions at one fucking time, and it would burn me the hell out. That's why I did so well in Jolt and, you know, Legacy of Champions when I would do Legacy of Champions, because it's like, okay, I'm only going to do this one promotion and that's all I'm going to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I could focus on that. And then it wouldn't be like all ADHD and shit. And I'm just like, fuck this shit, I'm done. I can't handle it.
Well, I think that a lot of that's different promotions too. Because like if you're doing it all for the same promotion, a lot of the time you can, like, okay, I want this guy to have a night off. Guess what? I'm taking a night off with that guy.
Yeah.
Shit. That's just the, you know, like you just kind of rate your main guys for the most part, and then stuff shit.
Yeah.
By the way, somebody's toast is ready.
It's my iPhone. I forgot that on silent.
You put your iPhone in the fucking toaster?
Yeah, it's ready.
God, what the fuck?
It'd be great.
I know you can put them underwater now. I didn't know they'd fucking live through a toaster though.
Yes, they're doing basic things with the iPhone. It's the new iHopper.
The
The other
iHopper?
person I thought
iHopper. What about Buddy Showtime? I heard lots of great things about Buddy Showtime. A lot of people
loved it, and I'm like, I thought it was good, but I don't know. I felt like it could have been done. Like it was really cool, but it was like it wasn't about the wrestling at all. You know, like Buddy Showtime like took over the whole thing, which is fine. I guess that's what's supposed to happen, but
what is? I know it's a character. I see it here, Buddy Showtime. What exactly is? What's going on with this?
You want to explain this, Ernie?
You want to explain this, Jordan? He's this older guy that runs this academy. He runs the conservatory, I think.
He does run the Conservatory of Violent Arts, which is an academy of a bunch of young students. He's a retired wrestler who now books out his students on, I guess, just the IGS show. I don't know of anywhere else. And they perform at least it's on the first show, in the first few matches and segments and stuff. And he does commentary with the commentary team while they're performing, and I don't know what the story will lead to. I alluded to that when I left my feedback, but I mean, that's kind of where it's at right now.
Paul said Bobby Heenan.
Right. Bobby Heenan, but he's handling, like, but like with jobbers.
See
Cool. I
that
gotta check
sounds
that out
sounds
then,
like
'cause I
that
love Buffy.
that one old character that Renner had. Was it Coral Avalon?
Right.
He was a really old guy.
That was Renner?
Yeah, Renner did
I didn't
Coral,
know.
didn't he?
For some reason, I thought that Coral Avalon was the guy that handled Seymour Almassy.
No,
No.
that was Sean.
Sean Williams.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean did Politically Incorrect in PCW
Mm.
and a couple other places, and he had Seymour
Honestly-
Almassy.
And then Kenjiro Ito.
Yeah, Kenjiro Ito.
Sean didn't really seem to like me too much, because, like, I don't know.
Sean was weird.
Yeah.
Nice guy, kind of dry.
Yeah,
But, like, I know that he had there was some kind of a thing between him and the handler of Chris Storm. I forget who else that guy had. Like, Midnight Cowboy or something, maybe?
who? Chris Storm?
Yeah, wasn't he a Midnight Cowboy or no?
I don't. The only person I ever knew Storm being like was Chris Storm.
Yeah.
He
But
was
anyway,
from he
Chris
was from
Storm-
PCW.
And Chris Storm was like a huge Max Hopper fan. Like, I remember almost every Legacy of Champions show that came out, he would be like, he would do a review, and he would always be like talking about how great Max Hopper was and stuff like that. Like Max Hopper should get the belt and blah blah blah. And there were like one or two times that I actually got negative feedback off of him. And I really appreciated the fact that I got negative feedback off of him, because to me that meant that all the stuff that he said was so great, he like truly thought was so great.
Yeah. Was he in Legacy? Chris Storm was in Legacy of Champions at one point in time, wasn't he?
He did come in for a bit.
Did he come in with Teresa Tomas as a tag team? Because him and Teresa Tomas were like a tag team in the
I don't remember
PCW
the name
circuit.
Teresa Tomas. I don't remember the name Teresa Tomas, but
Yeah, they were like a tag team in PCW. If I remember, I'm almost positive that was the chick's name. I know it was Chris Storm and a chick, but I can't remember who it was. There weren't too many out of PCW that were big names aside from like Ames and stuff. Which I guess Ames was a cunt slut, but I don't know. I never really messed with Ames, so.
you never messed with AIM?
I never messed with Ames. Amy Campbell.
The handler, yeah.
Yeah, Amy Campbell. I never had anything to do with her. I wrote in a bunch of promotions with her, but I never had any interactions with her. I heard a lot of people say that she was a cunt slut, but, whatever.
She always seemed cool to me. Like, I wrote a lot of places with her.
Yeah.
She was pretty easy to work with.
I never worked with her. I just heard bad stuff, so.
Yeah, a lot of guys had a bad... So she dated someone at one point that was involved in the hobby and was pretty popular. And when that kind of fell apart, some stuff...
Well, Bobby Stormbringer in PCW tried to go over the fucking border to go to her house because she was from Canada, and he got like in trouble trying to cross the border without a visa or some shit. I remember that. That was in PCW.
Was that after 9/11?
No, this was before 9/11.
That's kind of weird. I thought you could just like go back and forth at will before 9/11.
I don't know. There was some big controversy over him trying to go there and stalk her or some bullshit.
Probably because he went over to meet a young girl that was just way too young.
Yeah, that could have been it.
Yeah, I don't even know if any of it was true or not. The only thing I really remember from Ames is that Korg raped her in OSW.
Yeah, I don't even think she wanted that to happen. That was like real fucked up, actually.
No, they didn't want it to happen. They did not want it to happen. But Korg got his comeuppance later on in one of those other Ascension matches because Elmer the Three-Toed Ring Sloth Monkey raped him on it too. So that was my pet when I was in FSW and I had the hillbilly gimmick.
Well, they But I remember that was like a big controversy because like Alex Clark, I think, handled Korg or yeah, and he was like really upset about it because he's like, I didn't even want this to happen.
Nobody knew it was going to happen. I think Ron wrote it in.
Yeah, and like that was like right after like there were like 2 rapes in Asylum, and Ron thought like he could get away with it, and
yeah.
It didn't go over.
Well, weren't there rapes in Asylum like male on male though? Like one of them was
There
male
was-
on male.
One was male on male. Nerva got raped. Woman on woman. And Token date raped someone.
What
Yeah.
was the Fed where not SARS the clown? Who is it that I'm trying to think of? I think it was Simon's other character.
No, it was SARS.
Wasn't
It was SARS,
it was
wasn't
SARS that gave somebody a hand job?
it? Yeah, it was SARS.
Yeah, that
Was it SARS?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the funniest fucking.
Which
Yeah.
Fed was that?
That was ACW, I think, or MBW.
Oh, ACW.
No, it wasn't ACW, I don't think.
Was it
don't think it
MBW
was-
then?
I don't think it was MBW.
He cut a promo. I don't know if you guys ever heard this. He cut a promo in MBW where he actually rapped the whole promo.
Yeah, we used to play that on the
No,
old
that
shows.
That was NFW.
That's what I meant. NFW. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
we
was
Yeah, that could have
hysterical.
been.
we used
yeah,
to
it
play
could've
the
been
SARS the
NFW.
Clown rap on the podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to love the SARS the Clown rap. That what's my ass taste like?
yeah.
Against illustrious face eater.
Yeah.
Oh, and Illustrious Face Eater like came back at him with a rap. That was probably one of the funniest things I remember from e-wrestling. Like Simon said,
Jordan, do you still have the SARS the Clown rap?
I don't know if I do, but I have all about 100 or so of the EFG episodes saved on my hard drive that probably feature you guys playing it.
Oh yeah.
Probably. I used that as the intro for a while.
I've got
SARS
Ben.
the Clown.
I've got Ben on my fucking Facebook. You think like one day I just pop up out of nowhere and write Ben on there and ask him, "Hey man, you still got that SARS the Clown rap shit?"
Who,
that was Cats.
Zizu?
Yeah, Zizu. But Cats, it was in MBW where
Yeah.
the rap happened. So
NFW.
NFW, whatever.
Okay.
They all
I don't
ends.
have cats.
Nobody does, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't. Ford might.
Yeah, Ford probably
or
would.
Pete.
Oh wow, Siegel's birthday is the day after mine. Tommy Siegel.
Yeah.
Cameron Cruz.
Oh yeah, I know Cameron Cruz. I didn't. Tommy Siegel didn't ring a bell. Cameron
But-
Cruz did though.
So back to the IGS show. I thought the guy that stole the show, like you guys were saying, Buddy Showtime, Ernie with Max Hopper. The other one I thought that really did really well on it was David Noble.
Where do I know that name from? It sounds familiar.
FWO.
Yeah, FWO late. He used to handle Dusk, I think. at one point.
Dusk.
Oh.
I remember Dusk.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Frank handled Dusk too.
Dusk, I think, was in the last run of LOC.
He might have been in LSC too.
He
David
was
Noble
he
might
was in Def too. I probably know David Noble from
Yeah.
Def.
So I
Yeah.
wrote down thoughts as I was reading the show, just each segment by segment. And when I was reading the stuff that he wrote with David Noble and the little sister, because the little sister's breaking into the wrestling business, so David Noble's coming to support her and give her guidance and mentorship. I wondered in my writing as I was reading the first things, like, will this lead to anything with David Noble wrestling? And before the first show is over, David Noble is actually the character that's wrestling in IGS, not so much the little sister at this point.
Right, I think David Noble was like he wouldn't join a Fed, but because she was there, he'd come along for the ride.
Makes
then,
sense.
like, but it was like that's the character. Like I said, he really he also seemed like a very big deal. Like the LLB thing was a very big deal, but David Noble also felt that for me, like the promo he cut afterwards.
Mhm.
Like I tried to do an aftermatch promo and I thought mine was okay, and then he just fucking crushed it, and I looked like a shithead. So
Yeah.
like he did really, really well with it.
I think it actually makes yours seem more realistic, though, considering he's not very experienced in the U.S., not very well connected with the fans, even though he's from close to the area. So, I mean, it kind of makes more sense that he is a bigger character from the past. He would have, that connection already developed.
Yeah. No, I was just saying I just think it was
But he was it was excellent character work and writing as well to build up that character and really tell who it is all in one night.
Yeah, and then that's where I felt like LOB. The only thing about LOB that like kind of was a downer for me was the segments leading up to it. Like there wasn't a lot of LOB on the show until the very end. You know, like it was like, and the last 30 minutes of the show are LOB, and that was cool. But like, it would have also been cool to have LOB like at the start. Like the second you see the word objection, you know who it is. You know, just to kind of kick things off, I felt like. But then again, like I don't know how much Roland, like we were kind of, I think we were kind of pushing time wise at the end for him. But it was just one of those like, LOB felt huge, David Noble felt huge. Buddy Showtime, like the idea, like the past character that comes back, like an old head character, felt like a kind of a big deal. And Max Hopper, like you said, Jordan, like really. The stuff Ernie does, like my feedback is "fuck you, Ernie" or "God damn it, Ernie." Yeah, fucking Ernie.
Fucking Ernie.
but that's like just like because I'm laughing when I'm reading it, or I'm like, oh my god, this doesn't even make sense to me. Like, and it is what it is. Like, I just think it's hysterical. So, my feedback is fucking Ernie. Like, if he does something incredibly awful, I'll say it's awful. But until then, like, you can just get in fucking Ernie.
How did you now, Brock? How did you feel after we wrote that first segment?
I told you I wrote it with my characters' legitimate reactions. Those were my reactions as we wrote it. So I put myself in the scenario, and I went straight for the face palm, and I felt good,
That's good. He felt good. He felt good after. See,
it was fun. Like I think anytime you get to write, like you, Jordan, and I writing that was really cool because we were all on it at the same time, and like just stuff's flying up on the screen. It's like, can you imagine having that shit 10 years ago?
In different places too. It's flying up on its screen.
Like Jordan and I are writing up at the top. Ernie's writing at the bottom. There's like this shit everywhere. Ant's like, I don't even know what's happening.
He wanted. I'm not even sure like why he wanted the doc shared to him. But he wanted the doc shared to him, so it's like, okay, I'll go ahead and share the doc to you. He wanted to. I think he wanted to like see that we were like actually writing because we'd been talking about it for like a week and we're never on at the same time. And then, like, finally we were all on and then, like, writing. So I think he just wanted to see that it was actually happening. And then, yeah, like, it had to be confusing because there's, like, words popping up and, like, everywhere. Like, at the top, at the bottom,
like, literally writing a sentence. And I remember I, like, reworded the sentence as he was writing the sentence. And I think Ernie was about ready to cut me for it, but it read better to me. So,
what was that? You said you write a lot better than me.
No, I read like the way I wrote it. Like it read a lot easier for me. Because like I always try to simplify things, like if I can. And I simplified something you wrote, and like the next thing I knew, the whole sentence was changed. I'm like, oh, Ernie said, "Fuck that." But it was a lot of fun. Like it was just something that like used to direct connect and link things back and forth on AIM, and I was like, that was shit. Like this was really cool to do.
Yeah.
I want to do more of that. Like I think that type of stuff is what is going to make the hobby a lot more entertaining for me.
Yeah, we have the opportunity to do that over the coming next however many weeks it is, with the idea that we have planned where every single roster member basically gets a chance to work with everyone else just each week in a row. That'll make it fun though, that we get to do something with every single person, instead of just being segregated and stuff like you guys were talking about before in past places.
Yeah, I'm super.
Are you talking about the thing?
Yeah, the thing that Brock here suggested we do, and we've.
Can we say the thing, or do we have to keep the thing a secret?
I don't know. Is Ant in the chat? He can tell us.
I'm not sure if he's still there now.
All our secrets. Sheesh.
Okay.
So there we go. We're just all gonna work with each other.
Yeah, so we're doing like a group.
Aunt said stop telling all of our secrets. Shh.
Okay.
Right.
So we can't talk about the thing, but the thing is going to be really cool. The thing is going to be super cool.
Yeah, it's like I guess we can talk about it like in vague terms. Like the idea is that the whole Fed's going to get to work individually with each roster member. So like you're gonna get, you know, like if you haven't written with Ant yet, you're gonna get a chance to write with Ant. If you haven't written with Ernie yet, you're gonna get a chance to write with Ernie. And
It's
And I'll
not
be
just
gentle.
it's not just a week that you'll write with that person either, though. You get a chance to write with them for a period of time, like
Mhm.
a bit more
Right.
fun as well. You can actually tell a story between a couple different shows.
right, exactly.
Well,
And
whoever gets the fucking applications, check the fucking applications.
Did Jesse send in an application?
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
Was
Maybe,
the-
possibly.
Was the group writing project the final kicker, or had you already done it before that?
He probably already did it if he.
So I was doing an application when you guys were talking about that. I mean,
Yeah.
do me a favor, put me out of my misery, and just fucking vote no.
Well, there's Ant's
There's
the only
no
one that
voting
votes.
system in this one, yeah.
God damn it. Shit.
Oh, I hope
Ant and
that's
Paul
the gap.
votes, so. Yeah,
Well,
they already said yeah, so.
I think I'm good because earlier Ant said I couldn't come in, so he said I wasn't allowed in.
But
Oh,
then
I
he
don't
told
think
me he
was
loved
game
you.
six.
Like, no homo, man love loves you. So
Jesus
you're
Christ.
probably hosed.
I'm fucked.
Probably.
I've
You're gonna
done
be Santa Claus.
I've done shot myself in the fucking foot here.
Should I just go ahead and put him in the IGS chat now?
Probably.
Poor
But no,
Jesse.
I think a lot of the ideas, like, Ant's been really open with us, which is probably the coolest. Like, a lot of feds are like, this is the way it's going to be. We're going to section out and write everything 6 months in advance, and you're going to pick your spots on the shows. And it's like, Ant's like, just do whatever the fuck you want as long as it works. And don't be shitheads and write all your segments at the beginning of the show. Like, that is literally the. Like, not everybody can open the show, not everybody can end the show. Figure it the fuck out. I don't care.
But he's always yelling at us to write, too. Did you mention that?
Yeah, he also chases us and beats us.
He does.
Good luck catching me.
It's funny because, like, I'm going from, like, the most relaxed Fed head with Dusty and MBW, who's, like, he's, like, the most, like, easygoing, relaxed, to, like, the most, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Right.
Well, I think it's because Ant knows the type of guys he has. Like, he knows I'm
Yeah.
easily distracted. Like, I'm like, oh, piece of candy, you know, like, show shiny. Like, you know, I'll just run off because I got drunk one time and decided to do something else.
He said, "Yeah, add him to the Skype."
Yep,
So,
already did.
God damn it.
And that's what, like I said, that's what I'm thinking is Ant's motivation behind that is he knows, like, Jordan's kind of similar, where Jordan will do a ton of work at once and then can't have issues.
Yeah.
You know, and Ant's had issues. So, I mean, he knows, like, hey, we have to stay on top of ourselves with this, or we're not going to do it. You know, we're all, and it's cool. Like,
Yeah. You know, I was really happy for IGS2 to do a segment again with Jordan. And I was really happy to do a segment on IGS1 with Malik Roland again, with because they've got a little bit of history if you go back to, like, Legacy of Champions. So I was happy to be able to, you know, work with Ant again. And it's I don't know, it's just like a really good, you know, I think it's just like a really good place to be. And I mean, like, you're right that, you know, a lot of people, even if like they had been known as being reliable in the past, like, haven't been around in, like, 10 years or something like that, you know, 5 years. So, you know, a lot of times when you bring people back like that, it's, you know, you can't just, like, let them coast on their own because it doesn't work out. Like, that's what, like, Dan tries to do all the time with Legacy of Champions, is, like, bring people back from like 15 years ago.
Well, no,
And-
Dan would try to bring in the same fucking people that would bail on him the last time he did it. And me and him had that conversation too.
Well, and the problem with Dan is, and this is a lot of people when they start their Fed, they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this." They don't have a design. They don't have anything ready. They just say they're gonna do this, and they'll put up some forums, and everybody will start working. And I don't know how many times I said, "Okay, Dan, yeah, I'll do it." And I wrote, there was at one point where I wrote like a 20-part role play series with the guy who handled Umaga, I think, Umaga Rihanna or something.
Yeah, Margariana.
Yeah, I wrote like a
Yeah.
Wasn't that Seth?
No, that wasn't
Is that what
Seth.
That wasn't one of Seth's guys?
It was Joe. Joe
Joe
wasn't.
something.
Yeah. Joe
But, so
Joe Mega, I think is what his name was.
Joe Maga.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joe Maga, yeah.
Yeah.
So we wrote like a 20-part roleplay series for Legacy of Champions. Like, like we had this huge plan, we did all this work for it, and 6 months later, Dan's like, "Hey, I'm ready to open." And it's like, I'm in a totally different place in my life at this point. Like, you can't, like, where I'm at 6 months ago and where I'm at now.
Do you want to know a secret, though? When Dan recruits you, he's got a website that's functional and ready to go. But then, like, 2 hours later, he decides that he wants to overhaul the website and make it something completely different. And then 2 hours after that, he decides that he wants to overhaul the website again and make it something completely different. I've noticed, because, like, man, I've been invited to, like, every run of Legacy of Champions, almost. Not all of them, but almost. And I noticed time and time again that it's a recurring theme of he's just never happy with the website.
Well, he's a perfectionist. I mean, that's just Dan's that way. He's on the cutting edge of everything that pops up as far as like posers and graphics and stuff is, and it's just like he's always got to try and do the new thing. He's always got to do it.
That and his story too. Like he'll want to tell, like he'll have this Legacy of Champions story, and then he'll redo the Legacy of Champions website. You're all waiting on that, and then a month later, all of a sudden, you're doing Jolt again.
Yeah.
Or now he wants to do Club, and it's like, just pick one, motherfucker.
It's like Paul said right there. It said Dan was like that with the script too. He really was. The scripts jumped, like the bookings and the angles and stuff. They would jump so much it wasn't even funny.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Like, whenever I told you we wrote that 20-part roleplay series, like, we had an angle and a story we were going to tell. This is what it was going to be. This is how it was going to be done. And I'm like, so are we going to do the same thing? And he's like, no, we're doing this totally different thing. And I'm like...
Yeah, he flips it completely on its top on you.
And I'm like, well...
I see Dusty's in the chat room. I want to say hi to Dusty real quick. Hi, Dusty.
That's what happened to Andrew, the guy that handled Ulysses.
Solian.
Yeah, and, whatever. Suicide. S. He had that whole story wrote up, and it was a fucking awesome story. And he was planning on doing it, and I talked to him about it. The reason he quit was because Dan kept changing stuff around on him,
Mm-hmm.
And
he couldn't handle it.
It's frustrating.
Right. And Dan wants to be perfect, but there's a point where just open the fucking place and let's do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it couldn't have ever been that perfect. He usually ended up putting Justin as the fucking champion with Silo, so...
Well... I mean, it's one of those, like, whatever. Like, whatever you do with Justin's whatever you do with Justin. Like, he really liked that character and he liked that story, so he went with it a lot.
He loved Silo. I loved bringing up the fact that Silo was a pimp with a monkey in fucking PCW. That no one knew because no one knew who the fuck PCW was.
I think Justin talked about that before on one or two EFGs.
It's because I kept bringing it up.
Yeah.
He got so mad at one point at me because we brought when we brought him into Asylum, we didn't book him as a monster, and he like holds that against me sometimes, and it's funny. It's like, oh man, it was 15 years ago, and well, you were a wrestler, so.
I was always under the impression when I came into a new promotion that I worked my ass from the bottom to the top. Didn't matter how many promotions I'd been in. Didn't matter if I had any kind of fame or anything like that. You start from the bottom, work your way to the top.
And you could move faster because of what you did before, but you weren't going to move, you know.
You don't just instantly get a push. I've never felt
there
like
were
that.
some people though that would.
Yeah, there were. That pissed me off a lot of times too. Whenever people would just get brought in, they'd never done anything for the promotion, and it's just like, oh well, I like this person. They got a big name, so we're just going to push them. And it would, because that takes a shit on everybody else that's been working there, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I think the only person
I remember when. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ernie.
I was going to say, like, I remember two examples that come to my mind are I remember when Alias came into Legacy of Champions and got put as the sixth man.
Mm-hmm.
Although the sixth man was originally supposed to be Sean Hart. But then I also remember, like, just about anywhere that Superstar Vince Jacobs would go.
Yeah. Well, see, that stuff was supposed to happen in ACW too. I can't remember. I think it was Alias then too. And I love fucking Russ to death. You know, I do. The guy was awesome to me back in ACW. But there was like, it was Sean's character. It wasn't. I don't think it was Al Massey. It may have been Al Massey. It was Al Massey. Whenever he was like heel turned Seymour Al Massey or Orphan, which I think was like Seymour Al Massey, but bad guy. But he had the championship that I ended up winning off of him, and it was original. It wasn't like the main tier championship. It was like the mid level title. I can't even remember what the fuck it was called, but for ACW. But
I don't know.
They were going to bring
the Gateway title or something like that.
No, the Gateway was the one that I worked with Chris and got. It was the one after that, but
Scorpion title.
No, that was like the hardcore.
Next one down.
Yeah, that was the hardcore championship. I guess I can't remember what the fuck it was, what it was called. I could probably look on my old Jolt profile and find it, but the moral was Russ hadn't been in ACW in fucking forever. He had been gone. We'd all been sitting there working our asses off, and they were going to have him come in like on his first show and beat Orphan to take that championship from him. You know what I mean? And there it is. Antoine said ACW Television Championship. And we were like, fuck no. You know, it's not fucking happening. That's stupid. And, you know, it ended up eventually going to me, with Ramey going over Orphan. So, but I mean, it was dumb, you know. It was just dumb that it would take someone coming in from the outside to actually take down one of the big bads. I mean, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Not when you got homegrown talent there.
Oh, Brock. Why did Brock go away?
Oh, I don't know. Might have got mad at me. I don't know. He just DC'd, man.
He just like all of a sudden, just there he goes. I wonder if he just maybe got disconnected or something.
Probably.
Skype messed up.
He was in the chat, so he probably still is in chat.
Could just be an issue with Skype, because Skype does that to people sometimes.
Could be that it's 3:30 in the fucking morning.
Yeah, he would have said something though, I think. If that was it. I'm trying to find your profile on
Jolt.
Jolt, yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna find it. I'll have to link you to it, because my character's not on there anywhere. But yeah, Antoine put it up there. It was the ACW and Television Championship. Jordan's gone. No, Jordan's here. Okay.
Yeah. Jordan, are you still awake?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up this match.
There you go. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of that though. Like, I would never want my character to ever do that kind of stuff. I don't see why anybody else would want their character to do that stuff either. I mean, it's appealing that you get to come in, you get to be the champion and whatever and shit, but it just we're, you know,
Yeah.
What do you get anything from it? He says the internet just ghosted the shit out of me. So you
He'll probably come back in a minute then.
wanna add him back?
I can't. He just like doesn't he have to just like join the ongoing call or something? How do I add him back?
Oh fuck, I don't know. You're in charge of this shit. I'm running the YouTube and all that other stuff. You're running the Skype. I haven't been on Skype in fucking forever.
There we go. He's calling back in. It looks like he said he's waiting on it to come up. I get another. That's what she said. That's what she said, Brock.
He's not in here.
It says it's.
He can hear
It's got
us.
little bubbles.
See, that's the problem with OBS and YouTube too. If you live stream on YouTube, what we're talking about right now, that everybody in the chat's going to hear about it in like the next 15, 20 seconds.
Mm.
There's a lag. There's a delay. There's always a delay. You got to deal with that stuff on live streams all the time. People get mad at you because you're not answering their questions right away, and it's just like, motherfucker, you got to wait to get your answer. I see it as soon as it pops up, and I answer it as soon as it pops up, but your answer doesn't come through for 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah. He said his net's dead. We should hold a memorial service for his internet.
Candlelight
I thought
vigil.
yeah. Oh, there's Draconian. I was supposed to look up Draconian too.
Yeah, that's what I say. He came back in like right around the time that I'd won. Like it might have been after I won the championship or something. But I always liked that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I knew him from Adam whenever he first came in, you know? Like I didn't really know too much about him and his characters and stuff, but he was cool. He's the one that handled Golden Glen Miller, yeah.
Yeah, he was the one that handled Golden Glen Miller. He and I have been talking a lot the last couple of days because, like, Draconian was supposed to be an alien and stuff like that, and so
Right.
he really so he's like a big Max Hopper fan now after being exposed to the character, and
What?
fucking Brock in the chat.
Well, that's just I just told him he's going to sound like Jordan. He's going to be doing it from his phone too.
But what he said in the chat.
It's going to sound like
Anyway.
AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Logan is really cool. Like we're planning some stuff out together with. He handles Phaser, and he handles Golden Glen Miller's grandkids,
Right.
the tag team, and so like we're planning out some stuff with a couple of his characters, and we're planning, and then like we were talking about maybe getting him to bring in Draconian. So,
Well, that'd be the perfect angle for Max Hopper. But the big thing you got to worry about with Draconian is he's like 7 foot tall or 8 foot tall or some shit. He was like a monster. Me and him used to talk about that all the time. He's like, we were going to do matches between Draconian and Raimi in Jolt, and it's like, dude, I don't know how to fucking fight your character.
well,
It's like, I don't know what to fucking
because,
write
like,
here.
Max Hopper's a high flying character. And when you've got like big guy versus little guy, and little guy's a speedy high flying character, it's kind of easy to do. I love doing those kinds of matches, the big guy versus the little guy, and the high flyer versus the giant. I love doing those kinds of matches because, like, for me, there's so like I know those matches so well. There's so much I can do with them. It lends itself to lots of great spots and lots of great opportunities for things to do, to be creative. And
It confuses the shit out of me. I remember writing Zip Zap versus Spike Saunders in fucking ACW, and it's just like, I don't know what to fucking do with this shit.
But I mean, I like doing those. there's certain kinds of, like I really like enjoy quite a bit doing where two people have a different style.
Yeah, but like around about the same builder. You like maybe give like a foot or two to one person, but not, or an inch, a few inches over here, and maybe a little bit of weight class difference here. But I mean, when you legit put like a 5'5" person up against someone that's 7'4", 7'4" tall, and
Max isn't 5'5". He's 6 foot.
well, that's what I'm
But I mean,
still draconian. Let me see if I can even find. Did you
even
find the
still, like,
draconians?
5'5". Yeah, I found. But like somebody who's like 5'5", I'm just saying I can write that match. I'll make it a great match. You know what I'm saying? Because what you do is the smaller guy is going to rely on their speed and quickness. The bigger guy is going to, it's like about them being able to catch him and get their hands on him and inflict, big power damage and stuff like that. And it's, you know what I'm saying? That's because that's a classic age-old story from, that like I've been watching wrestling since like 1984, or I used to. I don't so much anymore, except for like I'll watch Lucha Underground, but now I have to watch it on Netflix, so I got to wait for them to get season 3. But I mean, I used to watch wrestling since like 1984, and like you'd see like the Rockers versus or like the Killer Bees, the Rockers or the Killer Bees versus like the Twin Towers or
Natural
natural
disaster.
disasters. Yeah, the natural disasters. And you know what I'm saying? Matches like that, you'd see, Andre the Giant going against people, whatever. And
Well, see, that's Paul. Paul
great-
brought it up
great-
perfectly, in my opinion. Though the matches and stuff that I'm seeing is like Nash versus Ray. You know what I mean?
Well-
like itty bitty motherfucker against big huge tall motherfucker.
yeah.
And
I mean, like,
it doesn't lend itself to that kind of psychology where you can do a back and forth. I like writing Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn type shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, I like that too. But I also like doing the big guy versus little guy, and you kind of do like, where this guy takes over for a while, and then you do where the other guy takes over for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean that's perfectly fine. It's just not my style, baby. You know?
And like, maybe the little guy hits something big, but they take a lot out of him to do because it's a big high flying move, and then the big guy is right back on him or whatever. Or you do something where like he baits the big guy in to something to like like a corner charge or something, and he moves out of the way. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do. I don't know. I do them pretty well.
Dusty
I
said
do.
Ernie should check your Twitter.
Okay, I'll check it in a minute. Which Twitter? Ask him which Twitter.
Well, he can hear you. I don't need to ask him. He can hear you ask.
He can hear me when it time travels 20 seconds into the future.
Yeah, technically. I mean, technically it is,
It's time traveled.
We're actually in the past.
Yep.
He said hops.
Okay. I'll check it in a second. I'm having a cigarette right now.
I quit
But-
smoking.
Did you really?
Yep.
Wow.
I quit smoking 4 or 5 months ago.
Well, good job. How did
I
you do
can't,
it? Did you replace it
um,
with anything, or?
I did Chantix.
Was it expensive, or?
No, my insurance covered it.
Oh, I don't have insurance, so.
I still can't. I like here recently. I've been having a hard time breathing. So
I live in Flint, Michigan. I don't have insurance. Who just dropped off now?
Brock.
Again?
Yeah.
He-
Well, I mean,
he
I
was-
never
he
even
was
heard
phone
him.
this time. What happened?
I didn't even
Yeah,
hear
maybe
him
he
say
was
anything that time.
Maybe he was having problems with that too.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of problems like breathing here lately. Which I mean, I go to the doctor every 3 or 4 months now. So because I got I got thyroid problems and borderline cholesterol problems, so I got to go in and get blood work done all the time now. And well, not all the time, but like every 3 or 4 months, I got to go in and get blood work done and get it checked out and stuff.
Mm.
Now I got to tell her like I'm having trouble, like it's shallow breathing. It's hard to breathe.
Yeah,
That just
that's not too good.
No, that
Is that
just
why you
started.
quit?
Huh?
Is that why you quit?
No, I quit because I needed to quit. I quit because it's bad for you, and I needed to quit, and it's bad for the kids.
Oh yeah.
So I quit,
Well,
and it's fucking expensive.
It looks like we've got Brock back. Brock, are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, the internet decided that I didn't need to be using it for 15 minutes. It was like too much bork. I borked it. My bad.
All right. Well, while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna let you guys kind of talk for a bit. I have to step away for a minute, and I'll be back in a few minutes. So you guys just kind of talk about whatever. Talk about IGS.
Well, you guys were talking about the big little guy match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have something you want to weigh in on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Because like, there's another story you can tell with that match, and it's one that a lot of people don't go to a lot, but it's kind of like an MMA trope, like where if you watch like old MMA,
Where there was no weight classes.
right. I'm trying to think who it was. They chopped down this big wrestler guy. And it was really cool. Like chopping down the tree is another big story you can tell with those matches. Like a lot of leg kicks, like taking out a knee, and working like certain parts of the body. And you can get a real scientific match from one side of the fence with that like tree chopping story.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool because like a lot of the times like the guys that are huge or like big power guys and like you sell them as a big power guy that way where you're trying to stay away but you're also hitting them quickly but with that you're trying to chop down that tree.
Yeah.
And that's just another story you can go with that. Like
I don't know, it's just like for me it's never been one that's lent itself to being interesting enough for me to want to write it, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I understand it. Like I can see where it can be boring, but then again, like I think some of the best matches I've written have been chopping down trees. Like I think I did a match with Ricky Wasp in Asylum that was really good, and it was a lot of leg kicks. Which yeah, that's fighting, but it was like still we were basically writing a wrestling match. Like it wasn't a fighting match for certain.
See, I remember like I was in the Asylum once, and I just joined it because it was a big promote. It was one of those things. I joined it, and then I got into it. I'm like, what the fuck have I got myself into? Like I can't write wrestling here. What the fuck,
No, there is no wrestling, and like the wrestlers that did convert over were like LLB converted over for a while, and he was Roland wrote that really well. Like he was kind of out of his element, but like some of the stuff he was gonna do was still gonna work, like the submission stuff, and Roland like really took advantage of that and did a really really good job with it. But it was interesting. Like it was an interesting place to be.
Yeah.
You could tell a lot of stories. Like it helps you with some of the harder to write matches. To like if you're looking at them from a real perspective, like, oh my god, I'm in here with this giant. What would I do?
Yeah.
And you can kind of base it off that. I mean, there's obviously points where like you just can't do anything. Like if you're writing like Evo Chavez or Big Little Italy or something, like that was impossible. Like I'm gonna run between the guy's legs and I'm writing a midget match,
Oh shit.
But like, we want to take the midget wrestler seriously and get the midget wrestler over. This is too much. Like this is way too hard.
Right.
But there's some size differences that are like you were saying, like 3 inches and 40 pounds or something like that. Like I like those types of matches because like sometimes the guy that's not normally the big guy is the big guy.
Yeah.
Like my character in IGS is 6'4", 245. So like some of the stuff I've been writing, I'm like, oh, my character's not huge, you know?
Yeah.
But then like this guy's 6 foot 215. Okay, this is a big deal. Like that's a big gap, you know, power, height. So you kind of have to take that into account too.
Right. I mean, that's like my character. My character's always been 6 foot, 205 pounds. You know, it's hard to, cause I always liked the lightweight division from you know back in the day and the cruiserweights and stuff. And I like doing the flippy dippy shit and all that, you know, dot flip, the shit that Randy Orton doesn't like.
I don't think Randy Orton doesn't like the flippy stuff. I think what he doesn't like is the dives.
Yeah, was that what he said? Dot dive.
Well, yeah, I think it was like dot flip, but like what he was really talking about was like these guys are diving off ladders every match and they're killing themselves, and
Yeah.
people took it kind of out of context that like Orton hates Randy or hated Rey Mysterio or something and everything else.
Oh, I think it was more he hates Ring of Honor. I think that's what it was all kind of boiled down to, wasn't it? Wasn't it Ring of Honor?
Well, it was more Young Bucks, I think.
Yeah.
They do a lot of
Yeah.
high spots, and it was like, oh, they're working the fucking Hardys. Whenever you said that, like, yeah, of course they're gonna do high spots. Like, but no, I think it's a lot of it. Like I said, there's a lot of good storytelling in those matches, and you just have to find it.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. Like, you don't want to write it every week. Like, I never want to write that match every week, but every once in a while it comes up, and you're like, okay, cool, let's do this. Let's chop the tree, or let's, you know.
I always tried to befriend the bigger characters. I remember me and Dusty, like Spike Saunders was Ramey's friend while we were in ACW until we feuded. But I always liked to have the bigger guys as my friends. That way I didn't have to write matches against them.
It's a good strategy, especially if you're a heel. It's a good move to do.
Oh god. I just it didn't lend itself. It's like, cause I in my mind I'm sitting here like, this guy's gonna stomp Ramey's fucking ass. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Just ride him stomping my ass? That's the only thing I could think of. You know what I mean?
Well, but you can write him stomping your ass, and that's another way you can take it, is like this domination story where you're the underdog, like where that other character is the underdog, and you can, you know, kind of write that too. I don't know. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of play to it, but it's just, you don't want to do it every week.
No. I want to do Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn every week. That's what I want to do.
Right, or, you know.
Those were some awesome matches.
Those were like the best matches ever, man. That by far, like, I still think that was Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn on, was it Sunday Night Heat? I think it was Sunday Night Heat. It was probably one of the best matches they've ever had in WWE.
On WWE, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking ECW.
I was thinking ECW too whenever you said that.
Because I used to love, man, like, they were fucking awesome in ECW.
Oh, they were, but I mean, that was just like, that was a phenomenal fucking match that they brought over. I think they only got to wrestle one time in WWE, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was just the nostalgia of it too, though. I don't know.
Didn't they wrestle each other on, like, One Night Only or something? ECW One Night Only?
Nope. Jerry Lynn, I don't think had anything to do with One Night Stand.
One Night Stand, that's what it was.
I don't remember
Lynn.
Lynn.
He was on that.
No, I don't remember Lynn being involved with that one.
I remember Psychosis was on it, I think, and like they were all chanting, "Put your mask on."
I got to look it up.
I don't know. Have you watched any have you been watching a lot of wrestling at all, Jesse, or are you still like a big wrestling fan at all, or?
I try to, like, I kind of got more into it here lately. Like, I miss some. I go to live shows when they're here in West Virginia. But I haven't really been keeping up too much with the live TV stuff. Not since Punk left, but I tried getting back into it when AJ Styles came in, and now that they got all these really fucking good Ring of Honor guys, I've wanted to really kind of keep up with it, but I just always like I'm always doing stuff, you know. I'm always live streaming or something around the time that it comes on.
How badly does WWE need CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in the ring right now with the guys that they have?
It's fucking awesome. It'd be awesome.
I saw something that Daniel Bryan is supposed to come back, but I don't know.
Well, there's this one guy on YouTube who does like a wrestling show, and it's like his ongoing thing is like how many fucks does Daniel Bryan give? And it's like 0. It's still fucking 0 because he gives no fucks. No, it's God damn it, what's the name of that place? Oh shit, let me look and try to find it. Ollie Davis is the guy who does it.
The crazy thing for me, like what got me real back into wrestling recently was New Japan. I don't know if you guys, Jordan and Ernie, know my love for New Japan based on what I type in IGS chat. But
I wish I could watch it, but
it's $8 a month. Like, cough up the 900 yen. Let's go.
900 yen is a lot of money, man. I don't have 900 yen.
It's 999 yen a month. New Japan World's been like just amazing. My brother actually, who never liked wrestling, was like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch Wrestle Kingdom 11," and I'm like, "Why? You hate wrestling?" And he's like, "Oh, I got real into it recently. You want to watch it with me?" And I'm like, "All right." And he like gives me his New Japan World account, and I watch it, and I'm like, "Wow, holy shit! Like this is what I wanted." This would have been amazing whenever I was a fan to be able to watch this stuff, because like before it was like you had to tape trade and like torrent download, and it was a mess. And now I can just log on to New Japan World, click the show, there it is, they play it for me. Don Callis talks a lot. It's pretty awesome. If you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. It's worth the $10. For the 999 yen. But it's real weird because like if you were to sign up today, you would get billed today and you get billed on the 1st. So you want to sign up on the 1st. But it's real awkward like that.
Yeah.
Where were you at from West Virginia, Jesse? Like you're from like down south, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm Panhandle area
of West Virginia.
I'm like right across the river from the Panhandle.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Which northern Panhandle or eastern?
Northern Panhandle.
Okay.
All the way up to the tippy top.
Okay, so that's more like Pennsylvania, Ohio.
Yeah, where all three of those are.
Yeah.
My wife's a West Virginian. I make fun of her all the time for it.
Yeah, so do all the people that watch me on my streams. I always get, you've got an awesome accent, or who let this fucking Confederate on YouTube?
Who let this neo-Nazi on YouTube?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm bald too, so I mean, I'm bald and I got a big fucking beard. I look like Festus. What's his name? The guy that does Festus, you know?
Luke Gallows. He's from West Virginia, which is even funnier.
I look like Luke Gallows. I got the bald head and I got the big old fucking beard. So
he's from West Virginia. You two are probably related via cousin's mother's brother's sister.
Probably.
So,
all of those.
Dude, I remember I remember there was this story going around. I can't remember if it was him that actually told the story or not, but like when he came back from Japan and was like, you know, Gallows and Anderson as a tag team, whenever they came back to WWE, he's like, Vince didn't remember that he was Festus. And he
also has another sweet story about like him at the Civic Arena and like the Rock's there, and he's like 14 and he like jumped on the hood of the Rock's car when he was trying to pull into the Civic Arena. And like and he's like a big kid, so he's like 6'5" or something. And the security guards like rip him off the Rock's car and tackle him and stuff.
Jesus.
He has a pretty wild story about that.
As far as I can tell, Ernie, I just went through a bunch of the I just went through a bunch of the old one night stands. Jerry Lynn was never a part of any of the one night stands.
Jerry Lynn was a lot older at the end of ECW too.
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
something else to consider. Like he was like getting up there. I don't know. Like Jordan said, like having CM Punk and Daniel Bryan now would just be amazing for them. But like, who knows if they'd use them right? Like, I don't know. I can't even watch it because they're like, we're gonna push gender and.
Soon as Vince dies.
You know, I don't have a problem with Jinder Mahal though. Jinder Mahal to me is kind of like a Bradshaw type, you know, world champion. And I'm cool with that. You know, I liked Bradshaw when he was a champion, and everybody fucking hated Bradshaw. You know.
You like Bradshaw because he was like you.
No, I mean he actually he wasn't at that point in time because that was like I'm poor as fuck, and that was whenever he was like Richie rich motherfucker. You know what I mean? Oh,
well,
Jesus.
no, I meant the talking and the.
Oh
the
yeah, I don't know. I liked it. You know what I mean? That was just I like Jinder Mahal too. Like they took him and turned him into this better character. You know, this modern day Maharajas. Like I think it's a good gimmick. I think it works. I think he makes a good champion.
I think it's cool, but I think there's a lot of other stuff going wrong. Like I think there was a better way to do it. Like there was a like having him win the US title that way would have been really good. But then again, like Randy was a dead champ anyway, so it didn't really matter what they really did with him.
I don't think Randy Orton should ever touch a fucking world championship again. But you know, I think the one that pisses me off the most is Bray Wyatt's championship run not being long enough. Like he only got it for like one fucking month. I don't even think he retained it in a pay-per-view, did he? He won it, then he lost it the next one.
Right. I mean, at least whenever he did go over, like he went over hard and he went over Cena and Styles. Like he went over everybody on the way to it, and then the way he lost it to Orton was just awful.
Yeah. That's
WrestleMania was filth.
That's what irks me.
The best thing on that WrestleMania card was Styles, Shane McMahon, and that says a whole lot.
Wait, wasn't that the last WrestleMania?
Yeah.
No, the best thing on the last WrestleMania was the fucking Hardy Boys, and I fucking marked out hardcore for that shit.
But if you watch the ladder match the night before in Ring of Honor, like this one was just tame as shit.
But it was just that pop though. I mean, it was just that it was that one. It was like when Sting came back. You know, it was like, you know, it was fucking go nuts. Or the first time that CM Punk cashed in the Money in the Bank on Edge, I'm like, it was one of those moments. Or the pipe bomb. You know, it was just it was one of those things. It's like I knew from all the stuff I had read that the Hardy Boys were probably going to be the ones coming into the match, and then they had like New Day come out and they teased that New Day was going to be the ones to go into the match, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, no, it's not New Day. And then it's like, and you know the Hardy's music, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the fucking Hardy Boys, and I'm like a little fucking schoolgirl. I like those moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but match wise, like my favorite match of WrestleMania was Styles Shane McMahon, and that's been 2 years in a row for Shane. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, he's a spot fucking monkey, man.
Yeah, he's a spot monkey, but they put him in the ring with like guys who can actually work, or guys who can go, or you know, Undertaker's like he did all the work for Undertaker, which worked. You know, like I don't know, it was cool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if the Hardy Boys weren't on that show, Shane McMahon and AJ Styles steal that show.
I mean, yeah. Aside from that, it was kind of a lackluster pay-per-view. You know?
Yeah. And then, like this year, like the whole summer has been the summer of gender, and it's like you have Shinsuke there, you have AJ Styles there. Like we could have had Shinsuke versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam as the main event.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had to sit through a Punjabi prison match.
Well, see, now that was awful. that was bad. I'm not gonna lie, that was bad, but. It wasn't great the first time they fucking did it. They should have took a clue from that, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, is it didn't work out the first time.
It's like, hey, let's, you know, they're just like throwing fucking shit at the wall, like, hey, let's have another fucking Kennel from Hell match. Dog shitting all over the fucking ringside area.
I don't know. There's the best is like so. I've been talking to Ernie about this, and like a lot of the Facebook group feds and stuff like the guys advertising on like Facebook groups. I don't do Twitter. I'm not very good at it. Somehow my account always gets banned for suspicious activity, and I don't even tweet anything.
That happened to me a lot on AIM. That's why I quit using AIM.
Like,
Because
it's
they
like
used to like always ban my shit for quote unquote suspicious activity, and I'm like what the fuck? Like I called them once, and I was like, what the what's going on? Like what kind of suspicious activity? And they're like, oh, just a suspicious activity. And they're like probably like sending spam emails or something like that. At that point, like I didn't even have like an AIM or AOL email anymore. So it's like, well, it's like emails have nothing to do with it because it's not even AIM email.
Yeah.
So, but like I was looking at the Facebook groups, and like I've seen like Punjabi prison matches like popping up in this, and I'm just like, what in the? Why would you want to write that fucking pile of shit? Like I guess writing it, you could do it better and do it more justice because you don't need the camera angle, but I don't understand how you'd be like, I really, you know what I want to do? I really want to sit down and write a great Punjabi prison match.
You should do that.
Like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. Like, like give me a ladder match or Hell in a Cell or anything like that, sure. But like a great Punjabi prison match just is not.
I tell you what. If you actually sit down and write a good one, I'll read it.
You'll read it if I write a good. I wrote a fuck pit match at one point in TA, so I probably could pull off a Punjabi prison match.
You write it, I'll read it. I will legit read it if you write it.
Did you say it was a fuck pit match?
You never heard about the fuck pit, Ernie?
No.
Okay. The fuck pit was the asylum cage, which was very tall cage, which was like a 6 foot cage or something. It was like a UFC octagon. They would add an extra layer of cage to it and put a glass floor on that cage. And down below that glass floor would be all kinds of weapons. And the goal would be to get your opponent through the glass floor so you could get to the weapons so you could destroy your opponent. Let alone, like, the 8-foot drop probably should have been enough.
Yeah.
But the fuck pit match was a hard match to write. Just because you had so many you had so many issues with it, but it became like this asylum thing, so you had to write a fuck pit match. Well, you did it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Asylum made no sense at all. That's
Craziness, man.
You tried it.
Did you inhale, Jesse?
What is it?
I said, did you inhale?
What do you mean, did I inhale?
He said you tried it.
Oh,
Asylum. You tried it.
Bill Clinton joke. Never mind.
I don't know. I'm trying to get backstage stuff set up.
I forget that like most of you guys are not old as me. I think I'm the oldest person on the in IGS, aren't I? Yeah, 36. We were talking about that one night.
Well, a lot of us are like 31 because like a lot of us like between like 28 and 31, I think.
Yeah, I turned 31 this year, so.
I don't know why, but it seems like a lot of us like at the same time, at the same age, came through.
Dude, I started doing like e-wrestling. Like my first thing on e-wrestling was through fucking web TV. Like I didn't even have a fucking computer.
Well, guess what my first character's name was?
What?
The Icon, the Brock. Come on, man. The Brock.
I can't even remember. Like, I think my first character was like a Sting character or a Crow or something.
Yeah, I did the Brock. It was like a goth rock. Yeah, it was bad. But you gotta give what everybody gave you. You got a name that sounds like a real pro wrestler. So you take advantage of it. But no, that's like one of the hardest things in indie wrestling for me was naming characters. I don't know. Jesse apparently had a hard time with that too.
Yeah. Well, I just remember my real name. I'm like, fuck it.
I don't know how Ernie has done.
Well, let's see. When I first started, I had like a bunch of crazy people. Like some of them were named after like White Zombie songs. Like my first fed was the first fed I was ever in was this place called World Wide Web Wrestling, www, and it was on Tripod and.
God, Angel Fire and Tripod back in the days, man, and GeoCities and fucking GeoCities.
Yeah, and so so that was let's see, I had a guy Astro Creep, I had El
Thunderkiss?
Phantasmo. No, I didn't have Thunderkiss, but I had Astro Creep's finisher was called the Creature of the Wheel, and it was like a tilt-a-whirl pile driver or corkscrew pile driver or something like that. He called it the Creature of the Wheel. And then I had like Raul Valdez and Juan Valdez. Juan Valdez, of course, was like direct from the those old coffee commercials. Colombian coffee.
Yeah. Juan Valdez.
And then like I gave him a brother or cousin or something named Raul. I had like a lot of like Latin American wrestlers early on, like Paco Hernandez was one of them.
Paco Hernandez.
Paco.
Who like
That was my
later
name
on,
in Spanish class at one point.
he like later on turned into a real person and tried to join IGS. A couple days ago was like, yeah, I'm gonna get all my friends. No. But let's see, Paco Hernandez was one of them. Then there was let's see, there was a tag team that I had called International House of Wrestlers, which was like kind of a joke to me because of like International House of Pancakes is what IHOP stands for.
Yeah.
So that was I forget who was in that. It was like Ringo Cesar Sanchez, because there was Cesar the Hurricane Sanchez, because there was like a Hurricane Cesar around that time. And so, and then there was, I forget what his tag team partner's name was or where he was from. He might have been like the Ukrainian acrobat guy that I had, because they had like a Ukrainian. He was either like an acrobat or like a gymnast or something like that. I forget what he was. And then his name was like Alexei something. And then there was eventually I got into my first like long-term character, which is Pat Gordon, and I took that name off of Tecmo World Wrestling because Pat Gordon was the first person I'd ever beaten that game with, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll have good luck, you know, in e-fighting with him. and then now I've got like Pat Gordon Jr. Max Hopper was there were like a bunch of reasons like why I came up with that name. Like one of them was because like I wanted like, you know, a speedier character and stuff. I was like, well, Hopper's a good name for that, and I was a fan of Dennis Hopper, the actor. And then Max was because like, I don't know, I just thought it was like kind of a cool name. He was supposed to be kind of a cool guy at the start, like a rich kind of a cool guy. And I was like, you know what, kind of like a douchebag sort of a person at the start. And I was like, what's a good douchebag rich
name? I need a douchebag name.
Yeah, I was like, man,
the...
great, kind of like a, you know, preppy, upscale, kind of like a douchebag kind of a guy name. That's a good one. You know, I mean, like it easily could have been like either that or Brad.
Either that or Brad. I don't think it has the same effect with Brad.
Yeah, could you imagine being like Brad Hopper? That was the other choice, was Brad Hopper. No,
You need
You
to
know-
alternate universe that.
I should. I should have like a Brad Hopper all of a sudden come out digest. Then let's see, who else did I have? There were some people that I was going to debut in MBW at one point. One of them was Starlight, but then like a few months after I posted an application, or not application, but like a bio back there for him, like I saw somebody on Twitter calling their character Starlight, and I was like, damn it. Another one was Riot. And then there's like gorgeous Martin Gamby, who was actually when Michael Koretz or Koresh or however you say it, Koretz. When he was doing AWL, I had Pat Gordon Jr. in there, and I made up a character for just one. It was only originally supposed to be there for one match against Pat Gordon Jr. And he was this big guy. He was supposed to be like a big fat guy, right? And his name was Gibraltar, like the Rock of Gibraltar. And so then, like, I had some other ideas for gimmicks for him. I wanted to do he's gonna have a bunch of gimmicks. One of them was Cannibal, and I wanted to do these segments called "Cooking with the Cannibal." And as the cannibal, the only thing he would ever say is he would go, "Meat," and he would like point. The idea was I was gonna have him he would point at his opponent and be like, "Meat," and he's this big guy and crazy, and he's a cannibal. And it's gonna really fucking make people shit their pants when he points at you and calls you meat. So
Ant said he's writing his Brad Hopper next week for the next event.
who he is, or
Yeah, no, Ant said it. He said Brad Hopper is hilarious. I'm writing his Brad Hopper next event.
Nice. So and so then I was coming up with other gimmicks for him. I was like, oh, how great would it be to have I had decided at one point I couldn't really come up with a good name, so I was just gonna call him Mr. Loverboy. And then but then I ended up changing that to Gorgeous Martin Gamby. And the idea was gonna be he was gonna call himself the most voluptuous man in wrestling. And he's gonna be. I've got a poser that I made of him, actually. Not a poser, but a Daz 3. It's a 3D render on Daz 3D because it's not made with poser, so it's not a poser.
Right.
But it's the same thing, but it's made in Daz 3D. I'll show that to you later. But he's fat. He's got this pink shirt on with a little heart on it, and you can totally. I think you can see some of his gut. And then I think I actually think that the shirt was a women's shirt that I put on him. And then he's got these really short these Daisy Duke pleather looking red shorts. And he's got red hair. And what I wanted to do when I was gonna bring him into MBW, I wanted to have Dusty change his hair to Afro puffs, to red Afro puffs. You know what I'm talking about? You remember Afro puffs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to have him change his hair, and then he was gonna. I was thinking of having him come out. You guys remember the movie Flashdance, right?
No.
No.
God damn it.
You don't remember Flashdance?
You don't know what sarcasm is, do you?
So he was gonna come out. Well, I've had people tell me that they actually don't know the movies. So.
Yeah, I remember
I
Flashdance.
don't know the movie.
Hair in the water, the bucket of water. So he was gonna do the thing he was gonna have. Koretz was gonna do another Fed last year, I think it was, and he wanted me to be in that, and he wanted that character, and so the gimmick that I was gonna do in that Fed was Vesuvius, after the the really big volcano, Mount Vesuvius.
No, really?
Right. Hey.
Jesus.
And so, shut up, Ramy. So
So, you know, like, he was going to be Vesuvius.
I thought you named it after like one of your dogs or something.
No, I don't have any dogs.
That sound Vesuvius,
but-
man. That just sounds like a dog's name.
No, Vesuvius actually, like, works up at the McDonald's up here. That's what
Oh yeah.
my next door neighbor.
Is that what you call the dude that you blow off every day in the fucking McDonald's bathroom stalls? Because he erupts like Vesuvius,
You know,
does he?
I don't blow off people in McDonald's bathroom stalls. I've got more class than that. I go to Wendy's, thank you. But anyway.
Anyway.
So yeah, he was gonna be Vesuvius, but then Michael's Fed never got off the ground. And then then there was this guy that I came up with, but I don't think that I even put a bio up for him, and his name was gonna be what was it like? It was gonna be like the Racer, like after the snake, but it was gonna be like the Racer. What was his name? Like something like Ricky Paul Mauritano or something like that.
Tell me that link I just sent you. That when you look at it, that's not sexy.
I don't know, man. You know, I'm not gonna even bother to look at this link because you show me some fucked up shit in the past.
Just look. You'll just look at the link.
No, dude, it's gonna be like a blue waffle. Or
It's
gonna
not. No, just look at it, dude. I'm not sending you anything dirty.
That's good stuff right there. You need to look at that, Ernie.
Yeah,
Ernie.
that's sexy,
Oh,
Ernie.
okay, it says rest. Okay, I was having a
Yeah.
cigarette, so
Yeah,
the
just check that out.
anti-star.
Just check it out.
Jesse
Man.
Ramey, there we go. You even got
Sexy.
like some of your bio on.
I'm
The
trying to
attitude
work on it.
adjustment. I remember like how pissed you were when
John Cena stole my fucking move. John Cena stole my fucking finisher's name.
But to be fair, you stole it from Lex Luger anyway, because when he was the narcissist Lex Luger,
I thought it was Bob
for a bit,
Holly.
he did a pile driver called the Attitude Adjustment, or it might not have been in WWF. That might have been like WCW.
Yeah, I can't.
When he turned heel in WCW.
But like, I don't remember anybody using it. And then John Cena fucking he went all fucking PG and shit, and he can't call his stuff the fucking FU anymore or the STFU. So it's like the Attitude Adjustment, like motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's like I've been using that shit since '98. Fuck you.
But so like this like Ricky Paul Mauritano guy, the racer Ricky Paul Mauritano, the racer RPM. He was like, my idea with him was going to be that he was going to have been like a football player, college football player for like some like small school like Murray State University who have the Racers is their name.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was going to have some like ridiculous like school record like that he had like the most sacks in a season with like 3 sacks or something ridiculously low that he was gonna like brag about.
So you said sacks. I thought you said sex at first.
Oh no, sacks. Sacks.
He had the most sex.
When you need to talk about fucking, you talk about fucking. Do you remember giving me that advice? When you need to talk about fucking, you talk about fucking.
Was that me?
That was you.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Sounds like it sounds like something I would say, but I don't remember it.
It was. But whenever I do this voice, that's my Jesse Ramey voice.
Fuck you, Ernie.
Well, it's the best I can do.
Fucking
So anyway,
racist motherfucker.
At least I'm trying. What you could say?
Racist motherfucker.
How was that racist?
I don't know. It's what am I supposed to call people who make fun of me? You know, black people can call people racist, and Mexican people can call people racist, and people make fun of hillbillies, and ain't nothing we can fucking call in. So I'm just fucking racists. That's what I'm calling, because we're a race. We're the hillbilly race.
Hillbilly race.
That's what we
Or
are.
you could call me Oh damn! What was the name of that guy from?
Bigot.
No, the name of that guy from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, I don't know.
The name of that guy from the Beverly Hillbillies. That
Jethro?
ran, like the bank. No, the one that ran the bank.
Oh, I can't.
Mr.
I don't know his name. It was Mr. Dreyfus.
Wait, what was that, Mom? No, that wasn't Mr. Mooney. That was he was from Green Acres, I think.
We do have the internet.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm googling right
Did he?
now.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. My mom says it's Mr. Mooney.
Beverly Hill
prob-
Billy's banker. Is he a banker? Drysdale, Mr. Drysdale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Drysdale. Well, you
Yeah,
had said,
Miss Jane was the secretary that Jed loved.
Well, you had said Dreyfus at first.
Well, Dreyfus, Drysdale, pretty much the same thing. Yeah, close
Yeah.
enough.
So you could just, you could just like call me Mr. Drysdale. I guess. Call people
Yeah.
Mr. Drysdale.
I
Like, all right, Mr. Drysdale.
I like calling people racists. I get called racist so much on like video games because I sound like I'm from, because I sound like a Confederate. I get like you get in these video games and I had this one kid, like we were playing Friday the 13th the game, and I team killed him because it was fun to team kill. Fuck him. I didn't know him. I killed him. But he said it was after I heard him talk, and it was because he was black. Because I'm a racist. Because the way I talk. It's just that happens all the time, man.
I hated that game.
No.
People team killing you in Friday the 13th was the fucking worst.
I always thought so too. I did a lot of good live streams on that though. Oh.
Do people still play that game, or is it dead?
It's still there. They've got new stuff coming out now, and people are starting to go back to it. I quit playing it because YouTube was flagging all my videos that I did of it as not advertiser friendly. So,
Oh.
yeah, YouTube's doing some really hardcore, not advertiser friendly stuff. I make most of my money from donations. I'll just put it like that. Because I get limited to no ads on my videos now.
That sucks.
Because I cuss or because of the content that's inside the videos.
The YouTube for a while they were gonna make it where independent wrestlings couldn't monetize their stuff on YouTube. They couldn't get advertisers and whatever. Well, they couldn't monetize it. I know that they were still playing ads or whatever during the videos, but they were like had decided that wrestling wasn't advertiser friendly or something like that.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's anything that's violence they don't like. Player like me doing PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Every single one of those get flagged. Friday the 13th gets flagged. Dead by Daylight definitely gets flagged because it says dead. It has dead in the title.
Oh, they ended up reversing it though.
I'm sure that some of them still have to deal with that crap because it happens every single day with me. Like I have to go in and request it, and they say the only way they're going to manually review it is if you have over 1,000 views at least on your videos, which I don't get a lot of times. So
I thought you did.
If I do Contest of Champions, I do, but I don't want to fucking make Contest of Champions videos anymore. I'm sick of Marvel Contest of Champions.
But anyway, it was a big hit to a lot of independent feds because that was a huge part of how they made their money. It was a huge part of their income was monetizing, YouTube videos.
You know what else is a big hit apparently? Weed 30 for Jordan. At least that's what he said in the chat. He says Weed 30.
Yeah.
So
it's a different kind of a big hit.
Yeah, Jordan's over there token up apparently.
Good for Jordan.
Just like Madman Zelinsky, there was an episode where Madman Zelinsky, EFA Guerillas, where I think there was one I think where he was like smoking weed, and I think there was another one where he like sold drugs on air.
Dude, I had a guy do a drug deal on my live stream the other day. Yeah, he legit did it. He's like, I'm in Oregon. It's all legal here. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm live streaming. He's like, I'm in Oregon. It's legal.
You're like, it's still not good for Twitch.
Yeah, it's like, can you
Yeah.
not like mute your fucking mic? He's like, you want to buy a gram? Yeah, let's smoke some. And I'm like, motherfucker, is this guy really doing this? It's like, okay, I guess he is. All right.
That's crazy.
Okay, blew my mind.
Do you think our show tonight is gonna get red flagged?
Oh, I don't know. I don't ever really use this YouTube pretty thing. I set it up just like in case I want to do like videos on stuff that that nobody'd know it was me, you know? Like I was going to do like gameplay videos without talking in them.
Oh.
But I never got around to it, so it can be used for that. I can actually change the name of everything around to it. We could just use like EFG stuff on it if we wanted to.
See, I was really hoping that tonight's broadcast was gonna end up getting me through the winter.
Yeah, we were really relying on your subscribers, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know
We
if
were
you
like-
do that, but...
like-
Just to PayPal.
Counting of that advertising money.
Oh shit. Six people watching. We might end up with like 6 to 10 views on this thing. You might be looking at getting maybe a penny if you're lucky. Not even that. 100
That
views
was-
is like a penny.
Hey, I live in Flint, Michigan. A penny can go a long way.
That's gonna get Ernie 1 penny closer to that clean water.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can melt that down and actually have some good copper pipes.
Yeah.
Some
That's
good.
why pennies aren't made of copper. Come on.
Not anymore. They're not. They used to be.
They're made of like partially copper. It's like
Yeah, it's like copper
1% or
coated.
5% or something.
It's a copper coating.
Yeah.
So, all this art went up on the IGS website, and it looks really good.
We killed Dusty. He couldn't hang. He's out.
Is he really?
Yeah,
He
he
left?
said, "Have fun, guys. I'm out." He can't. He just can't hang, man.
Speaking of the art that that Brock just brought up, Ben's done a really good job and done it very quickly of getting us things made. Like, it's pretty awesome of him.
Yeah, for like just one day we put up a show. Next thing we know, we have art. Like, it's pretty sweet. And Paul just put a ton of it up, so it looks really good.
Oh,
Where's it at? In the bios or something?
Yeah, just a bunch of posers just got posted. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely coming along.
I don't know why they did a poser of this faggot Brock Metzer, but you know.
He
I
kind
don't-
of
What was that?
looks Chinese.
I was thinking that too. That he kind of looked
I was
Asian.
thinking he looked like Data. Off
Yeah,
of,
Data from Star Trek.
off of Star Trek, yeah. Because he's got that kind of same skin flesh tone color as Data.
He looks like Data, but like Data smoking 2 joints. Data.
There you
That must be why his eyes are so closed.
Exactly.
I thought he looks like Down
Probably
syndrome.
why he's.
That's Down syndrome Data. That's what it is. He looks like Down syndrome Data.
Oh, come on, man. Can't make fun of Down syndrome people.
Yeah, you can. Who said you can't? Who said you can't make fun of people with Down syndrome? It's frowned upon, but you can fucking do it.
Oh shit.
Ugh.
But yeah, no, I was just super happy with how good of a job Ben's been doing too. Can't believe he's been doing it that fast, that good. Like, that was the part that surprised me.
I like that Seth card poser. That one's nice.
Yeah.
I
The
like
Millers
Phaser
are
a
pretty
lot.
good too.
Who?
The Millers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they look like Ric Flair's kids. Ric Flair
like-
meets the Fabulous Freebirds kids.
I like Kellen Wolf's face a lot.
Yeah, Kellen Wolf is a good one.
You know, that one reminds me of oh god, I can't think. I had it on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think of who it reminds me of. It's like it reminds me like of a Christian Keller with hair.
I could see that.
Because
The other one I think is
Keller was always
good.
bald.
The other one I think is really good is the Malik Roland. Like the Malik
Yeah.
Roland looks really. That's like the best Malik Roland I've seen. Like the beard just looks awesome. It's not like the painted on
Yeah.
goatee. Like it looks really cool. Yeah, Ben's been incredible though. Like it's probably gonna slow down at some point, but I mean, his output right now is just out of this world.
So who is this being?
Ben Halcomb.
Oh, Halcom's doing that stuff?
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought you and Halcom hated each other, Ernie.
No, we squashed that
Oh,
the other
okay.
day. A couple days ago.
He's not actually writing or handling anybody in IGS either. He's just simply doing this because he said he enjoyed the first set of results.
So he's just making like posters and stuff?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he was talking about doing a what do you call it? Rumor mill.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be cool to have somebody that's like on board, but like not on board.
Yeah.
To do
Like-
some stuff like that for us, because
Yeah, somebody that's like all they do is like that in the posers.
yeah, like that's cool. I'm cool down with that.
That's kind of like what I did with Legacy Champions. But when I wasn't handling it, I did that lockdown shit on it. Wasn't in it, but did like the rumor mill stuff.
Yeah, it's just something neat. Like it's just something different. Adds a little bit more to the site. A
Yeah.
little more content.
Which hopefully it'll drive more people to it if it actually gets done, you know?
Yeah. But, I mean, that's where I think our second show is really going to be our big coming out. Like
Big,
our first show was,
Big coming out, huh? Ernie?
well, I mean, like Ernie's got to come out at some point. But no, like our first show was like this is the tune up. And the second show is gonna like really, I think, surprise some people.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be pretty impressive. Like just the sheer content of it. You know, like it's very long. There's a ton of stuff going on. Like the stories are actually, like now that we're all in it, we all kind of see where the stories are gonna go. We've kind of talked things out, and I think it's really gonna be cool.
Well, now you guys got to find somewhere to interject me.
There's actually a perfect place to interject you.
Hey!
Jordan has
We can't talk
Great
about
idea
that
for it.
place to
yeah, we
interject
can't talk
you.
about it on here, but
Oh, somebody's
It's
going to have to write and
spring
tell me
time.
then, because I don't know. I haven't seen it in anything.
we'll tell you once the show is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys have been conspiring outside the IGS chat, it sounds like. Because I didn't see it, motherfuckers.
It wasn't the IGS chat. It was this, it's just.
Oh, Antoine has another plan, I guess.
Oh, Antoine with plans.
Antoine comes up with some good plans though sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Although, like, he was gonna originally have me be the first Triple Crown champion. We were gonna do a Triple Crown,
That was an awful idea.
but then he changed his mind on that, and he was gonna have me be the first champion at first, but then
But Ernie can't have belts, so.
yeah. So we
No, it's kind of a rule that's kind of always been a rule. Ernie can't have belts.
it has been. It's like you can do whatever you want except win a title.
Yeah, I mean, Dusty
Oh.
kind of fucked us on that one, though.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. You do whatever you want, Ernie, just no belts.
Yeah.
You could,
But I
you should
mean,
make
like-
your own belt, actually.
Yeah. The Keystone Championship though I think was good. Like Hopper had a good story for it and stuff like that. So because he thought that the Keystone was a like this like magical artifact. This like powerful artifact thing.
Okay.
So, he wanted to get that, and then there was, this guy coming in whose character was
whose character is a this like evil spirit kind of a thing that's like as old as time that wants to. Well, it's like I don't know. It's better if I let the handler explain it, but he's like all about survival of the fittest and evolution and stuff, and kind of like weeding out the weak.
So, like, Apocalypse from the X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
So yeah, so like he kind of like wants to essentially like bring about like an apocalypse, and like you said, like Apocalypse from the X-Men is a good. But so anyway, he was coming in, so then like Max Hopper started talking about how there's this evil thing coming in, and that's why he had to make sure that the Keystone was safe, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and whatever, and then so then that's where we're headed right now. Is we've been doing some stuff over the last few shows between those two characters. And I actually had a line, we had a little dueling microphones type segment, and there was something where, Max Hopper called him a deity and whatever, and was like, like, I know that you're a deity, but, have some humility or something like that. And then, he was like, I'm not a god, blah, blah, blah. I used to feast on the gods or whatever. And then he's like, Max Hopper's like, because the guy's name is Alex Rain, so he goes, Rain, when someone calls you a god, you say yes. See, Bork gets it. Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And it works out so well because like his last name is Rain, so like he's Max Hopper saying Rain, which is almost like when Winston said Ray. When someone calls you God, you say yes. So yeah, so I really loved being able to fit that line in. And then we've been having some stuff where Max Hopper said, like, well, I've been to the future, and our big battle is supposed to happen on this particular show. And so he's like, well, if you're not willing to defend the belt against me before then I'm going to go fuck up some people. And so he's been, I mean, this is like kind of a oversimplified, condensed version so that it's not taking up like an hour to explain everything. But
This
he's going out
is
there
the
and
point where I need a pillow on my desk.
Shut up, Raimi.
Listen, we're talking about Ernie's first title reign of all time.
Is that what we're talking about? I've been kind of like phasing back and forth here.
This is a big deal.
Like I'm almost
like 6 years, 4 days, and 12 hours since he last had a title.
Just about. I think the last time I had a belt was like 2013 with Pat Gordon Jr. He actually had a world title, but shut up, Jesse. So anyway, so like he's been, like injuring out some people, and like Max Hopper's like having to just stand by and watch because they can't have a big battle because like it'll disrupt the timelines. And then if the timelines get disrupted, then the universe will come apart, and it, et cetera, paradoxes, whatever.
I remember a guy who went like a great deal of time between like championship runs, and anytime that would get brought up on these shows back then, he wouldn't talk about it.
Who was that?
Oh yeah, that was me.
It was Justin.
That was
Justin.
Me. No, that was me.
You used to always talk about your title runs.
No,
Jesse.
you guys used to.
Justin
You guys used to bring it up all the time.
Justin was the one that would never talk about his titles. He hated talking.
Oh, bullshit! Justin would talk about himself just to fucking hear himself talk. That's all that guy fucking did. He did the show so he could hear himself talk.
Justin was one of the most humble co-hosts that I've ever had.
You're full of fucking shit.
Never liked to pimp his own stuff.
You're a fucking cocksucker is what you are.
I think I've been pretty humble tonight.
A dirty fucking lying cocksucker.
I think you have.
I think considering the way I normally talk about myself, I've been pretty humble.
Jordan's a very humble guy as well. And so is Bork.
Yeah, but the other one, like, I could smack you through the fucking computer right now.
Ernie?
Yeah, Ernie.
Yeah.
The second one, he's talking about. Yeah, you've been fine because we're talking about your characters and stuff and things on here that have to deal with the actual IGS. So.
Well, Jordan had said that he wanted to talk about what I've been up to as well, like, because I've been the one that's been.
This is Ernie's birthday, and you're fucking ruining it, Jesse. You're just
Yeah,
shitting all
seriously,
over.
Jesse.
No one gives a shit. I put Ernie's birthday bash in the fucking description of the video. That's good enough, ain't it?
You got to put Ernie over a little bit more. You know, I mean,
You're gonna make me cry on
I
air
sat
on my
and pretended like I listened to him for like the last 20 minutes. I think that's how long he's talked. I don't
snoring
know.
noises.
At the end of it, when it was like, all right, Ernie, that's enough.
You're gonna make me cry on air on my birthday.
Good.
That's
Maybe we'll get more views.
Yeah.
To make you cry. Maybe I can give you 10 cents off the video for your birthday if we get some views off of you fucking crying on air. You got a webcam so we can actually put it up on air? Your fucking homeless Hulk Hogan looking ass on TV? What was it? What was it I told you looked like before?
A homeless person.
Yeah, but didn't I compare you to like some wrestler too that was a homeless wrestler?
CW or homeless.
I can't remember.
Was it C.W. Anderson?
Yeah, you looked like a homeless C.W. Anderson. That's what it was. Cause you got that bald head and the beard thing, and you look like you.
So do you.
You look like but I don't look like I'd suck a dick for a cheeseburger.
Neither do I.
Yeah, you do. You look like
you'd homeless Gilbert, but
you look like you'd suck it. You look like you'd suck a dick for a cheeseburger. You're like a homeless wimpy. Off of Popeye. I'll gladly suck your dick today for a cheeseburger tomorrow. That should be your catchphrase.
You totally butchered that too.
I did. You know what I mean.
You botched that like so bad, man.
Dude, it's like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's like for me that's like 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, it's you got the edge on me. Like I get up at like 8 o'clock and work. By God, I'm not streaming at no 8 o'clock in the morning. I can tell you that right now.
You stream at 8 o'clock? Who the fuck watches your video at 8 o'clock in the morning?
People.
No.
People do. I stream from like 8. I stream for like 9 hours straight, and then I take a little bit of a break. Then I come back at 8 p.m.
It's like.
And I stream then too.
Skip school to smoke pot at home all day.
No, there's a lot of people that watch while they're at work. People that want to be playing video games that can't play video games while they're at work. You know. I like the adult crowds. I'm not a big kids fan. Kids are bastards.
Are they the ones that tell you you're a racist?
Yeah, they're the ones that usually tell me I'm a racist. That's like I legit had this one kid comment on 2 different videos the same thing. Like, I didn't know they let Confederates play this game. And it's like, okay, so obviously I wasn't going to see that on the first fucking video you posted it on, so you got to go put it on another one, don't you, douchebag? Fuck off.
Shit.
This is why I hate this. This is why I backhand my kids. So they don't go around talking douchebaggy shit like that to people. My kids are respectable.
All right, guys. I got 5 hours before I got to get my car to the mechanic, so I'm going to go to sleep. It was a good night, gentlemen.
Antoine said, fun fact, I created the Keystone title.
What was that?
Antoine said, fun fact, I created the Keystone title.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And fun fact, Antoine's God. We figured that out today.
I thought Dusty was God.
But Antoine created what Dusty has. Dusty is now God, but Antoine created Dusty.
No. Antoine would be God. Dusty would be Jesus.
No, Dusty would be like the Pope.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess the Pope works too.
He's like bringing
Yeah.
Antoine's good works to the world.
Yeah, I got nothing either. I'm at a
All right,
loss
Jeb.
on that one.
I'm out for the night. Have a great evening. Happy birthday, Ernie.
Thanks, Bork.
No problem,
Thanks
guys.
for coming on.
Yep. Good having you, man.
Yep, take it easy, guys.
Take it easy. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of good stuff going on in NBW right now. There has been like lately.
NBW looks fucking awesome.
It is. It's they recently had a really big bounty storyline wrap up with Jake Tockwell, who's another one of Marcus's creations, who's an absolutely phenomenal character. He had a bounty on Warren Spade, who was the champion.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting ready to go into Legacy, and I think the title match for that is currently set to be Brock Newblood, who's another awesome character, versus Jake Tockwell. Brock
So
Newblood is handled by Gorman.
does Keegan actually still ride over in the NBW?
Oh yeah, he does. Well, I guess he hasn't like posted anything new for like a month, but he's got like a few shows written out in advance or something like that. So he's got some stuff posted for Slam 97, 98, 99, and Legacy. But he's getting married September 23rd, so he's been really busy with preparations for the wedding. And
Oh, no shit.
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. The girl he's marrying is a doctor too.
Well, it's the same girl he was dating, wasn't it?
Yeah, Maria Elena, yeah.
Yeah, the one that he met while he was in Spain. Yeah.
So I'm really excited for him about that.
I haven't talked to him in fucking forever.
I was messaging with him some on Skype yesterday. He deleted Skype off of his computer though, but like he's got, I don't know what it is, like MSN or MSN Mail or Hotmail or something like that. So if you send him Skype messages, he gets it in his email.
Yeah.
Or like in his, like a little email chat thing like Google has, like Gmail has. But yeah, so he's doing really well, both in NBW and in real life. So that's really good. The Eastwind Alex Rain is the guy that I'm feuding with right now, and he's a really cool character as well. I was telling you about him earlier. The guy is like this kind of evil spirit that's been around since the beginning of time, and you guys said it was kind of like Apocalypse from X-Men.
Yeah.
Let's see who else is.
And that's what you're doing in NBW?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing in NBW.
What's the plans? Like, I know it's like you're only like one show in, but like, what's the plans that you can actually kind of like talk about for IGS? Because you got Hopper there. Is that the only character you got in IGS?
No, I also have Pat Gordon Jr. in IGS.
Oh, so we could maybe have a little revisit of the Ring Nightmares. Wasn't that who I did? That's who we did.
That was who we were. Yeah, we could maybe do something kind of like it. He is in a tag team with his fiancee Juliette Brooks.
So then I have to kill him.
Because he's got a different tag team partner.
Yeah. Now he has to die.
The betrayal. Well, we could do like
Raimi's really grouchy these days.
We could do like
he's
a
old and grouchy.
Team.
He's old and grouchy. He doesn't put up with your shit anymore, Ernie. Now you have to die.
I was gonna say we could do like a 6-person tag team match.
Or we could do a Raimi versus six people tag team match. Just me versus 6 people, and I kill all of them. Hell, I could single-handedly just take down IGS tomorrow.
Jordan says that he knows a couple of 3-person teams we could face. Why doesn't he just say that? Isn't he on the call? Jordan, why don't you just say that?
Too high to speak.
Then how can he type?
Jordan! I see he's here. I fucking see him. He's still in the fucking call.
I see him. I fucking see him. That's crazy. It's like you're like looking inside his house or something.
Like
You see
I
him,
can see him in the chat. He's in the chat here with it, you know?
Yeah, I know.
But he's not saying
Alright.
anything because he's a fucking stoner.
Wait. He started to talk.
I'm,
Don't-
I'm doing things around the fucking house, and I don't want to make noise while you guys are talking.
Oh, okay.
He's smoking
thought-
dope. He's fucking smoking dope.
Yeah. I was gonna say when he started to talk to say that, I was gonna say he's like a deer, don't scare him away.
I thought you were gonna say it, that when he started to talk, you heard a big exhale. I'm doing stuff around the house, guys. He's got to hold it in. Can't let it out.
Yeah.
Just remember, if that's
He's been holding like the same hit for the last hour.
just remember, if you switch over to the crystal meth, you can't hold that in like fucking. You can't hold that in like dope. If you do, it'll crystallize on your lungs.
Is that from your experience?
I've smoked crack once.
Crystal meth is dope. Weed is not.
Weed is dope.
It's medicinal.
Fuck.
Methamphetamine is dope. Heroin is dope. I don't do dope.
I never did the heroin. I just did a little bit of crack, coke, and marijuana.
Yep.
And opioids.
Didn't admit to all that.
Huh? Well, I don't do anything now. I'm fucking clean as a fucking whistle. I'm basically a fucking straight edge fat motherfucker. I don't do anything now. I don't even drink caffeine. Well, I don't drink pop. I quit drinking pop. I eat better. I fucking exercise sometimes. Like, I'll get my fat ass on the bike in there, but most of them I don't want to because I don't like it. But yeah, a lot of stuff for me's changed. Ant said he said I smoked crack once so nonchalantly. I
Oh
did.
yeah, the IGS chat.
Yeah. I did. I can't. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. You know, I'm 31 years old. I don't give a shit what people think. I'm straight edge now. You know, Dusty says I'm straight edge. Look like I do heroin, crack, and have dentures. So yeah, drugs are bad, but not always the damn cause. Oh God. I mean, I don't see the point, you know, in hiding behind stuff. You know, like I don't see it, but there's no point in hiding it if you don't do it anymore. I did a lot of stuff. I had a lot of fun doing it too. Like I don't get this. Like these drugs are bad, kids. You know, I had a lot of fun fucking doing drugs.
I did some in high school. I had the first thing that I ever did though was acid.
I think the main thing that, like,
LSD.
to tell kids is don't get caught doing drugs.
Right, I guess. Yeah.
I had a shit ton of fun doing the drugs. By God, if I got caught doing it, it wouldn't have been fun. You can ask Jordan.
Yeah. Well, he got caught selling. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
Using would have been probably like 90 days in county or something.
Well, if he was just using it, he wouldn't have had a lot on him. So it's the
Yeah.
amount. It's the amount that usually ends up fucking you.
Yeah, intent to sell and whatever.
Yeah, the more you got.
Trafficking. But anyway, getting back to talking about MBW.
Yeah, because
And it was kinda
Dusty's
funny
still
because we
here,
just
even though he
started-
said he was
yeah,
gone.
Like we just started talking about MBW, and then like he came back in the chat. It was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, like they've got like a lot of good people there now doing some good stuff. A few people coming over from Roleplay Feds. Johnny Bedlam. Actually, Bedlam used to be in some.
Where did he used to be? I can't remember if he was ever in. I don't know. I don't think he was ever in FWO, but I think maybe like he used to be like on PTC or something somewhere.
Well,
I
this
think
one chick is
Snake,
definitely a Game of Thrones fan, yeah.
Which one?
Cersei. Cersei Hellion.
I think that's one of Dusty's characters.
Yeah, he's Game of Thrones, Game
Maybe.
of Thrones fan.
Yeah, he is. But
Yeah.
yeah, Johnny Bedlam, Jesse Jamester. You might remember him from EWG.
Yeah, Jesse Jamester. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in MBW now. John Pariah.
Jack Owens. Isn't that Jay's, one of Jay's characters?
No, that's Trevor.
Oh, yeah, Trevor. Okay, I got you. Frost. Frost Handler, yeah. Trevor,
Yeah,
the handle
Frost,
Frost.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember. I knew Jake Owens from somewhere, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Who it was exactly. Who the fuck is Khan?
I think he's an NPC. I'm not sure who originally came up with him, but I think he's an NPC, and then Seth took him over for Ricky Strongburn, Big Rick Strongburn, and his stable.
Yeah.
Big Rick Strongburn is another like really great, funny character. Seth does an amazing job with him.
Seth does an amazing job with any character he touches, though. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, he does.
Dude was going to handle a Hawaiian character in fucking Ring Revolution. So
He's got one. He's got a few of them now. Actually, like a couple of them are injured though, but he's still got Ohiyama, and he's a Hawaiian guy.
yeah.
Looks like he's making up more characters too.
Well, he always does.
So
He's always been like that.
Oh no, wait. I guess. No, that's not him.
I see Keegan's handling the entertainers over there too, right? Darren Best
Yep.
and Alfie Button.
Yep, he's got them.
I think they were in ACW.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I think they were. I think Alfie Button at one point was in MBW too. A long
Well,
time ago.
I remember. I remember doing matches with them.
And I think he had him in Jolt as well.
They might have been. He may have made him up for Jolt. I can't remember.
I know he had Alfie Button like way before Jolt, because it was.
There's a lot of fucking tag teams over here.
Because he was yeah, he does a lot of tag teams. He's.
No, I mean just like in general, there's a lot of tag teams in
MBW.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of tag teams. There's some other ones too that people have. Let me go. What are you looking at right now? You're looking at the.
I'm just looking at MBW's site. I'm looking at the tag teams.
What, like on the roster or something?
Yeah, just under Superstores. You can go down to active roster and look at the tag teams and stables and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Rich family. That's him.
That's Seth.
No, Keegan.
Oh, is that Keegan?
Yep, Rich family is Keegan. Handsome Man Modeling School, I think, is Seth. But I don't think they've been. I don't think he's been using them too much lately.
Yeah.
The Entertainers, Alfie Button and Darren Best, Keegan. The Creed brothers. I forget the guy's name that created them, but they've been kept around as NPCs. I think his name is John or something.
So who's this one in the IGS chat that's talking right now? Who they
Angie?
Yeah, who do they handle?
Angie handles Juliet Brooks. That's Pat Gordon Jr.'s fiance and now tag team partner.
Oh, okay. Where is she originally from, as far as like character wise goes?
character-wise.
Yeah, like where would I know her from anywhere, or is it somebody that you brought in?
She was in. Well, it's somebody that I brought in, but she was in. She was well, actually, like Aunt brought her in, but I was the one that had told her about IGS, and she retweeted a couple things for IGS. Then Aunt started to talk to her, and kind of ended up
She was in How.
selling her. Yeah, she was in High Octane Wrestling for a bit. She was in Boardwalk.
Yeah, I see that.
She did a lot of stuff in Boardwalk.
Pulse sounds familiar.
Who? Paul Carter?
Pulse.
Oh, Pulse?
Yeah, Pulse sounds familiar. I don't know. I definitely know Boardwalk and How, though.
Yeah.
How is that one group of douchebags?
Yeah, but she's not a douchebag. She's cool.
Well, yeah, I kind of
Which is
figured.
why,
I
like,
kind
I
of
could
figured
never
that, but
like, I could seriously, like, I could never understand, like, why she was in High Octane Wrestling.
yeah,
Because she's like the nicest person, and then like so many of the people there. I'm not gonna say that like all of them there, but like so many of the people there like were, you know.
there was a lot of douchebags in How.
Yeah.
It's not calling everybody there a douchebag. It's just they're telling the truth.
Yeah, there were a lot of them.
There
yeah.
were
I mean,
a lot
like,
of
there's, like, a lot of
douchebags.
them deaf.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them deaf. You know, like I remember when fucking when we were doing Battle Mania and Angry Justin who like ran deaf.
Yeah.
Posted complaining about like the colors in people's role plays.
Yep. I remember
like,
that too.
You're not even in it. Like, what are you complaining about? And this is, you know, not your forum. This is our forum.
Yep.
I'm saying, like, you don't see me going posting shit in your forum complaining about whatever, you know?
Right.
But I don't know.
Everybody was pissed off at me because I ranked people low that I thought deserved to be ranked low during that whole thing. So.
Well, because like there was, you know, Chris had blabbed in the discussed rankings in the UTA chat.
Yep.
And whatever, and then I think Pete was involved in it too, maybe, and then
I'm pretty sure they were.
Like this game of broken telephone where people were like, you know, oh, you know, one of the judges said that they ranked Mike Best low because he just didn't like him.
I didn't like his role play.
Yeah, but they thought that it was because you just didn't like him personally or something like that,
which would never be a fucking thing.
Yeah, and so, you know,
It was the other judges' faults. Honestly, nobody should have been fucking talking shit about nothing.
Were like other people who ranked him lower than you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
but it was just this vendetta thing. So.
Yeah, but you know, and
I was the angle guy, so people had to like fucking call it out over that.
Chris had you know, said, you know, what he said, what he had said in that chat. People
love fucking drama, man. Ultimately, that's what it boils down to. People love drama, and if they think they can rile up some shit, they're going to rile it up. And I just happen to be the target of that shit. So.
Well, but I mean, if you look, you know, I mean, if you like really think about it, you know, I mean, like professional wrestling is, you know, largely based on drama, right? The product, you know, and then we're a bunch of people who like to play professional wrestlers. So yeah, you know, I mean, it kind of makes sense to think of, I guess, that like a lot of people in e-fetting, you know, really love drama.
Yeah, it should have never transpired into that stuff though. I caught a lot of fucking heat over that in a lot of communities. And I hadn't even done anything. You know, I never said anything bad about any of the people. I just fucking ranked them.
Yeah.
And then I went to bat and helped you finish fucking writing the match, you know?
Mhm.
I wasn't supposed to do that, but I did.
No, thanks again for that, by the way.
Oh, I don't care. You needed help. You were my friend.
Yeah.
That's what friends do.
But I mean, like, Pete was originally supposed to help with the match. And then, like, he was moving, and then you told me, like, about, like, how he was, like, always moving. But anyway, let's not talk about that anymore.
Yeah. It's done and over
I don't
with.
even remember how we got on that topic. Oh, because we were talking about high octane wrestling.
Yeah, we were talking about douchebags.
And we got into death. And we got into death, and then we got on to like Angry Justin and his post on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we talked about douchebags, so I figured let's talk about more douchebags.
Yeah.
I think we should probably end this sometime soon anyway. We've been going for almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I think
tired.
you're right. I don't think many people are going to want to listen to this replay because it's like 4 hours long. So.
Well, it'll be up. It's going to upload, so it'll be there if people do want to. You can plug it wherever you want to.
Okay. Well, I had reactivated the. I had changed the Twitter handle from EFED Guerillas a long time ago to at EW Broadcasting, and then a few weeks ago I had deactivated it.
Well, anytime we want to use this, like I said, I can change the name of this channel to EFED Guerillas, and it's not going to cause any problems.
Cool.
If we want to make this an official EFED Guerillas thing, it can be an EFED Guerillas channel, and we can use it whenever we want to.
But I was just trying to tell you that I had essentially like reactivated the old EFED Guerillas Twitter and renamed it back to EFED Guerillas, essentially just for the night because we were doing the one night special.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if we ever want to do it again, we can do it here. If we want to turn this into an actual EFED Guerillas channel, we can do it. It's up to you guys. If people want to come listen to this kind of stuff or people want to be involved in it more, I'm more than willing to make the channel this because I don't use the channel anyway, you know?
Cool. Sounds good. So
just see if there's any interest there to drum up if people want this to be like something we do maybe once a month or something.
About the same time as IGS cards.
Yeah. It works.
Maybe we could just like make it like IGS radio. Just do it once a month.
I'm good with that, man. It's whatever. If you guys want to. I'm available. I'm always home. This is where I work.
Cool. We're all in IGS. May as well.
Yeah. For now. Till I don't do any work and Antoine kicks me out.
You better do some stuff, though,
Oh, man.
I'll go post on your YouTube videos. I'll be like, I didn't know Confederates.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and think, what the fuck did I do?
Like, I didn't know Confederates play this game. Stuff like that. Call you racist.
Thanks, Ernie.
You're welcome.
All right. On that note, you want to send us off?
Sure. So, for those of you who stuck around this long, first of all, I want to thank you for coming and joining us with the celebration of my birthday and our 7-year anniversary of EFED Guerillas. And I want to congratulate you on toughing it out all this time. For Jesse Ramey and Jordan Snow, this is El Gringo Loco saying roleplay early and roleplay often. Did Jordan jump off? Who's off the call?
I think so.
Okay. Are we off air now?
Trying to give it a second.